Gotta show him I can still rap though.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the bag like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change. Cardi in my ring when I'm switching lanes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Now I got a buck for all those rainy days. Ain't have a day off in like 80 days. I got hustles in like 80 ways. Kids if he won't take a lazy day. Wifey on me told me take a break. I keep going to the paper street. Then it's trips out to Montego Bay. If I take the job, bet I get it done. I said it before, I'm a one-on-one. I just caught some ones, only wearing ones. Fornicate the funds, money made me calm. Diamonds on your neck, bet they on your neck. You want that watch, you better rock a tech. You want that chain, you better cop a vest. You want the check, but can you make it stretch? Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm backed up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car cards to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault. I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. If it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
Gotta show him I can still rap though.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the bag like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change. Cardi in my ring when I'm switching lanes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Now I got a buck for all those rainy days. Ain't have a day off in like 80 days. I got hustles in like 80 ways. kids if he won't take a lazy day. Wifey on me, told me take a break. I keep going to the paper straight. Then it's trips out to Montego Bay. If I take the job, bet I get it done.
The voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
So he gets married again, then
Because when K Baker got married,
Yo, what is going on, people? We are live right now. That is right. It is 8 p.m. It is pretty close to 8 p.m. It is Thursday, and we are the Next Podcast. Guys, I cannot wait to get into it tonight. We have some hot-ass topics. Of course, we get to talk about Halo Infinite, and I think you guys are going to be surprised with what I say about that, because we're looking at the lead multiplayer designer, quote unquote, leaving 343. We got 343 kind of starting to talk about season 2. Of course, the whole co-op thing. We're gonna get into all that stuff. Of course, there was a state of play. We're gonna talk about that. If there was any shining moments in that state of play for the gamers out there. We're gonna talk about our buddy Michael Pachter, and I say our buddy loosely because I do realize that anytime this guy talks, like I pay it no mind. But it was on a community podcast. He came on and he said some very interesting things that a lot of people are trying to shoot down very, very quickly, and I think we need to talk about it a little bit more. I think we need to discuss it. I think we need to really get in there. Get to the meat and potatoes of the situation. Huge shout out to the chat. What is going on, people? It's good to see everybody in here early. What is up, RG Viper? What is up, Dreadpool? Good to see you. Of course, my homie Casket Repair was in here early. Tool Man. Shout out to Tool Man. He was the first one in the chat tonight. Good to see you guys. And we have somebody trying to promote something that I'm not getting paid for, so we're just gonna block that real quick. Put them in timeout. There we go. But guys, we gotta get into the intros, and while we're doing the intros, that little YouTube thing, guys, hit that thumbs up button, share the show out, let people know that we are going in on the hottest gaming topics of the week, and of course, we do not hold back our opinions. So let people know this is the place to be on Thursday night, and we are live right now. So without further ado, we're going to get into the intros, and we're going to start over here in New England, where if you don't like the weather, you just got to wait about 5-10 minutes, and I swear you can get all 4 seasons up here in New England in one day. And this man knows about it. He is the creator, the inventor of hashtag Crispy Truth. It is Crispy Bomb. What is up, bro?
But you actually speak the truth tonight. Oh man,
60s.
We went from wet snow to hey, I didn't have to shovel my sidewalk today. So I'll take it, and it's great to be here. We got some fire topics. Some of them I just don't understand what we're talking about, but hey, screw it. I'll give my opinion. Let's do it.
You are never bashful about your opinion. Even if the topic you're like, I don't know why we're doing this. But I still have an opinion about it. And that's what we love about you, bro. You have an opinion about everything that we have on this show. So it is going to be a lot of fun. But we are going now to the Lone Star State. You guys might know him as the headliner, the mainstay, the star out there in OnlyFans. I know Dark Optimus definitely knows that. He is the #1 supporter and contributor of his OnlyFans. Of course, we are talking about Predator. What is up, bro?
I actually dropped out for like the first half of that intro, from like the beginning opening show until just now. I heard Dark Optimus in OnlyFans. So,
and you knew where we were going.
OnlyFans.
Oh man, welcome to the Come Zone.
No.
Hey man, good to be here, man. I know we got some topics. It's got a slow week, man. It's like, I don't know, it just seemed like it was kind of like dead this week with topics, but we'll entertain you. We'll entertain you guys out there. I'll make sure I keep it live and bubbly for you guys.
He said we will entertain you, and of course we have the tip cup out and ready. But yeah, dude, always
we'll keep
a pleasure.
It wet for you. Don't worry about it.
Always a pleasure, bro. It is cool. It is cool that we have you exclusive. You have your area expertise over there with your OnlyFans of what you're doing, but you come over here to this media every Thursday, and I gotta say we appreciate it, man. And I can't wait to hear what you think about a lot of this stuff, especially I think the Pachter thing. I think you're gonna have a lot to say about that, but we will see. Next on the list, this man, dude. No matter what's going on throughout the week, I can guarantee one thing: this guy is putting hours and hours into games that he has. You might see him on Twitter with all this gameplay from Elden Ring, and I think people are giving him a little bit of flack for tossing that magic in the air and letting those spiritual swords fly when it comes to Elden Ring. But I say if they put it in the game, then you can use it. No problem. Of course, coming live from the 405. It is K Mega. What is up, bro?
Actually, you know what? There was a few people that tried to throw a little shade, but the truth of the matter is that when I said let the glint fly, baby, let the glint fly, baby, a lot of people supported it. So shout out to a lot of people. I mean,
dude,
listen,
if they put it in the game,
it's like EA. It's in the game. It's in the game, man.
Real.
You wouldn't have, man. They wouldn't have put the faith, the arcane, the intelligence to have the higher max than just swinging the sword and going in. Because some of the spells and stuff that you see is so spectacular. They changed it up. So regardless of it, thanks for the people for the support. I even had some PlayStation. This was I've even had PlayStation dudes was like, yo, Mega's out here, man, repping. Repping for the Xbox, whatever. And appreciate it. But the fact of it is like, yeah, man, if it's in the game and when this game exploits you, I'm going to exploit the hell out of it. That's what you do with open world games. So, and that's what I'm doing right now. Playing.
Are you even close to beating that game yet?
I'm right there at the level where the boss is, where the main boss is. But I want to be OP. So I'm a level 147, 149 right now. I've been going in. I've been knocking some fools out. I want some special type of weapons and magic. So I want that Kamehameha wave. So I'm trying to find where that
I saw that gameplay where the dude knocked out like the two big ass things that were pulling the carriage.
Yeah. I'm looking for that. I got a comment, but I think I need to level up my my magic pretty high. My attributes to where I can use my magic to get pretty high. So if I can use that comment, because like I'm a level 60 on with to use it. With my glint magic or whatever. But yeah, I want to see what that bad boy do. But I gotta give one more thing I gotta say. I gotta give a big shout out to Big Hughes. He's a summon, and man, he's a tank. He's this big ass thug ass wizard, and he carries a staff and a big ass club. So not only will he hit you with the glint, glint, he will club your ass across the head too if you get too close. So big shout out to Big Ass Hughes. That is my bodyguard running through here, man. So I can't believe I'm loving this Elden Ring like this, man. It's ridiculous.
Call him the Bill Cosby.
Oh, nice.
the Bill Cosby of video games. He hits you with that magic and then knock you over the head with the club and drag you wherever you want.
Exactly.
Let's go there, people.
Yeah, for real. But guys, again, shout out to Sleepy Goblin who did hook me up with Elden Ring, and I started playing it. Again, I have never played a Souls game in my life, and I do kind of want to stream it when I get like really involved. But I wanted to get in there and kind of test it out, and I immediately got thrown into the I don't know who to fight type situation. I'm still learning how to fight.
Just go to the right. Just go
to the right. See, I went left.
Go to the church. Get your first little thing. You know what I'm saying? And
I didn't pick up what I was supposed to pick up at that church either, and I kept going left. So
you need to do that.
I got to start over, man.
And then go to the right because shit is a lot easier.
But I wanted to I wanted to get into that, but a game derailed me today as well because as people know, I have Game Pass. I've had Game Pass for quite a while. Absolutely love the service. And Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was downloadable today. I actually downloaded it real early this morning. I woke up, put it on download, went back to sleep for a little bit because it was my day off from work. I planned on doing so much adulting today. Going grocery shopping, doing this, doing that. I started playing Guardians of the Galaxy, and no lie, anything that I had planned throughout the day was completely scratched off. I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy all day today. Absolutely love this game so far. It is insane, and everything that I've heard about this game is absolutely true. The dialogue, the back and forth with the characters. I was one of those people that felt like, the characters didn't really look like the movie characters. They didn't use the same voice actors, stuff like that, and I was a little skeptical about that whole thing. But when it came down to it, it only took about playing that game about 20 minutes before I completely forgot about all that. Yo, shout out to Dragonheart Yobi. What is up, bro? He has been a member for 3 months. He says, peace, love, life. I love you, brother. We all love you as well, man. Shout out to Yobi. Huge part of the community. Always out there, sending out that positivity. Definitely appreciate that. But when it came to Guardians, like I played it about 20 minutes, completely forgot about like that the whole voice and kind of like the way the characters look and stuff like that. Completely forgot about that whole thing. The game is an absolute blast so far. And insanely funny, man. The same type of humor that you have in the movies is in the game. And just the way that they progress the story. Anybody on the panel play Guardians at all?
No.
Not yet. Nope.
No,
December, but just haven't had a chance.
I haven't gamed like seriously since November. So
I highly suggest trying this, man. It's like I said, it's in Game Pass. It's another win for Game Pass. Another quality game. In the service, and dude, this is a game I guarantee you I am beating this game just because, man, every mission there's something that's going on. It is too detail of what Guardians of the Galaxy are all about, and it is just a lot of fun. Yo, chat, let me know if you guys, I know there's people out there that have beaten it. What do you guys think of Guardians of the Galaxy? What do you guys think about it being in Game Pass? And like I said, man, it caught me. I didn't do anything today. Nothing that I was supposed to do today. I'm going to have to make it up throughout the weekend while I am also working. So, I had put all that into a little package for me, but it was worth it, man. A lot of fun. Guys, we got to get into the topics. I know I'm gushing a little bit over Guardians. Let's start with State of Play. We just had PlayStation State of Play. It was supposed to be focused, Japanese focused, which I guess we could definitely say it was. I know before time there were people on social media trying to really like ramp this up. They were talking about a Bloodborne sequel. They're talking about all these like big games and stuff like that. I gotta say, for those people, if that's what they were really looking for, I think they were a little disappointed. But there was definitely stuff there for everybody. And I watched I was watching this, and my son came in when I was watching, and my son's a big anime fan, so he saw the JoJo's trailer, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, kind of like fighting game, and he started getting excited, and I was like, he saw the PS4, PS5 at the end of the trailer, and I was like, dude, calm down, because he has a Series X. I was like, dude, what Sony loves to do here is they love to show multiplats, but only put PS4, PS5 at the end of the trailer because it's their show. And come to find out, JoJo is definitely a multiplat, so we're probably going to be playing that game when it comes out. K Mega, I don't know if you're interested in JoJo, but it is a fighting game, bro.
Yes, yeah. I got the lesser version on the PlayStation 4. So yeah.
Yeah, and that game. I mean, it's a sequel to it was multiplat anyway. That the previous one came out on Xbox as well as PlayStation, right?
No,
from what I saw,
no.
There was at least a 360 version of one of those in the franchise.
Maybe a 360 version, but not an Xbox One version. No.
Well, I mean, Xbox One. We all know the history when it comes to Xbox One, man. That was a crazy generation, bro. But of course there was Returnal coming out with the DLC and coming out with a co-op. Basically co-op campaign for Returnal, which I think people are excited about.
They showed what, a 2-second clip of co-op.
Was it just the girl giving the hand to another person picking them up or whatnot?
No, there's a little shooting after. But,
okay. There was something that they showed Forsaken again.
It's ready to be messy already.
They showed Forsaken again. Now, Forspoken. I'm trying to change the name because I absolutely hate the name. Anyway, they showed Forspoken again, and I gotta let you guys know out there in the chat, people on the panel, I want to like this game because when they do kind of like the hot trailers, the quick kind of like little cinematics and quick little gameplay bursts and stuff like that, the game looks really good, like graphically and stuff like that. But we've all seen when they showed the gameplay, like how actual like buggy and twitchy and shit like that, like the game appears. You know what I'm saying? The animation of the character and stuff, which like I want to like this game, but whenever you see like the actual like gameplay of it, when they come out with the actual kind of like extended gameplay of it, the game really looks rough. So maybe
I'll be right back, bud. I gotta get Windows has hit me up with an update. So
no, so you might be back in an hour. If Windows hit you up with the update, man.
Don't do it. Wait. After the
show. Can you wait? Because Windows gets a little pushy sometimes, bro. Like
they're like, no, you're gonna do this shit. You're gonna do it now.
Kind of like Xbox sometimes. If you don't have the right settings on your Xbox, it's like, oh no, shit, update, time to update. Right in the middle of competitive like Halo match or something. Like, nope, time to update. What the fuck, man? So make sure you have your settings right on Xbox. By the way, put that out there as well. But I don't know, Pred, did you check out State of Decay? The State of Play? Did you check out the State of Play, man?
I saw some of the video from it. I didn't really pay attention because like it's a 20-minute show. I was like, okay, it's gonna be some bullshit, and I'm not into those games that they showed, to be honest with you. It's not my style of gameplay, like the style of game I play. So I'm glad I missed it. So like, I don't know, like, people get kind of overhyped for these things. I look at it this way. If it was something major, it wouldn't have just kind of dropped like it did. Because like their State of Play sometimes it's come out like it's like a Monday and they're like, oh, we got a State of Play tomorrow. So like if it's a big thing, like we know well in advance it's gonna be something big. So when it kind of like shadow dropped on us, like, oh, State of Play tomorrow, I was like, that's gonna be some bullshit. They're gonna do like, the sequel to Volcano High or some stupid shit like that. And so I just kind of like just sat back and said, I'll look at like some videos later. That's what I did. I didn't pay attention to the show. Like the ones that I like, and I think they do a good job of the production of those when they just focus on just one game. Like when they do like Horizon or when they focus just on that one game, when they talk about that one game, I think they do a better job with the production of it. They come and they talk and they do some gameplay, and it's like just all gameplay at that point. And I wish Microsoft would do something like that. But like these little ones that kind of shadow drop on us like this, I never pay attention to because it's usually like something I'm not interested in.
I feel like they would do that with Hellblade too, like actually
Like
we
Xbox
used
would?
to get
yeah.
We used to get the we haven't seen one in a while now. I think
Inside
about
Xbox.
the Inside Xbox, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen one of those in a long time. It seems like forever, where they just kind of focus on and I think they kind of overdo it. Like I remember the one for Sea of Thieves. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about a hurdy-gurdy. Like, just show me some gameplay. It was like dragged out for like an hour. I don't need like just 20 minutes. Have the developer come out, speak on the game a little bit, talk about what you're about to see, and then get the fuck out. But like they drag that shit on for like an hour. And I will say they do add other stuff into it, like like other games, should I say? But like the way Xbox does it, like it's too like too much, too overkill for me. So I like the way Sony does it. But this last show, this actual state of decay too.
You were gonna say
The
it
state
too.
of play
See,
they
you were gonna
did.
say
I
it's
did.
not just me, people. It's not just me.
Like when they like do it the way, like shadow drop it like the way they did. I always think it's gonna be some bullshit I can just watch on YouTube later. And I didn't even like Nintendo does directs all the time, and like who pays attention to those? Like seriously, like they kind of come. They like it's like again, it's like it's a Monday, and yeah, there's a Nintendo Direct on Tuesday, and we're just like okay, whatever. And then we look at it, it's like crap. So like, um, the Gundam game, like some of those games look pretty cool, but they're just not my style of game. The Returnal stuff, I kind of glimpsed at that. Like, I mean, I don't have it, so I was like, I don't have a PlayStation, so it's like I don't have that same desire to go look at that kind of stuff now because I can't fucking find one. Like fix that problem. I can't even find a PlayStation 4.
You
That's how
can't find
fucked up.
it?
No, I can't. I can't find a used, decent price PlayStation 4.
Well,
I can buy.
you're adding stipulations here. You said
Oh
used,
yeah, because like
decent price.
dude, it's how old is it? Like why can I find a cheap ass fucking $150 PlayStation 4 anywhere? Like I mean, like they want like fucking $400 for these motherfuckers now. So I'm like, okay, no, we're not doing that. So like, you can't find a brand new one on the show. If I'm gonna pay that kind of money for it, I'm gonna get a brand new one. But um, I'm like, fuck it, put the shit on PC and just fucking get it over with already. So,
All right. Well,
but yeah, I mean, like I think like with it being like a slow lull of everything going on right now as far as the news goes, this is a perfect time to drop something like this. A state of decay, state of play. So I mean, what else is going on this fucking week? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing going on in the gaming space right now. Everyone's playing Elden Ring. No one's playing fucking Horizon anymore. So like,
you said nobody's playing Horizon, dude.
What are we talking about?
You saw what I posted in the DM about
No.
how many people? Because people love to do this to Xbox. They'll be like, after a game's been out, they'll wait like maybe a week.
Oh,
and they'll talk about how many people beat it. Dude, only 13% of the people who bought Horizon Forbidden West have beaten it so far, and it's been a while.
God.
It's been a while.
Or they say, they'll pull this bullshit. The numbers from launch to now have dropped 48%.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like,
I got people
Sony
sharing
give a shit.
like
Microsoft gives
streaming like stats, like people who are watching games telling me that like Halo is dead because people aren't watching it on stream. I'm like, no, they're playing the game. That's why. Like, but yeah, I don't know. But getting back to state of play. Let me just bust off some stuff. State of the play. We'll blend them together.
State of the play.
State of the play. Well, I think we could. I think I'm probably more comfortable with that actually. But
yeah, we'll go with that from now on.
So we got Ghostwire Tokyo, Forspoken, Valkyrie Elysium, Gigabash, which Gigabash looked pretty cool. There's going to be an announcement about that coming to Xbox at some point in time, but PS4, PS5, and Steam, Epic. You got Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, which I want to know. Is that like I see the Final Fantasy name in it, but every single Final Fantasy is a completely different game. So what's up with the Origin? I don't know the story behind that. Teenage
Just a side story to it.
Side story. Teenage Mutant.
Yeah, well, I should say more of a spinoff to it. You know, they got tons of those.
We got old school
essentially,
Ninja Turtles collection, the Cowabunga collection, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is pretty cool. The Dealfield Chronicle, of course, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All Star Battle R, which I already know I'm going to be playing with my son. He got so excited about that, and when they said PS4, PS5, I looked at him. I was like, "Well, dude, are you going to get a PS5 now?" He's like, "Well, I might." And that's how I was like, "Well, calm down. Most likely it's multi-plat, and yeah, it is." But uh let's see, Gundam Evolution, Exo Primal. So they had stuff in this. Of course, what they the announcement for Returnal, I think that was the bigger one. But yo, Predator, what you're saying about when they're focusing on one game, I can definitely see that because it's first party. It's their games, their studios. Of course, they're going to go all out and give a better show when it comes down to it. I think these are just to keep the gamers kind of like satisfied. Like we're still, this is coming out, this is coming
We're
out,
still
and stuff
here.
like
We
that.
got stuff coming out this year. Bullshit. No,
Yeah,
you don't.
yeah. But I am gonna
Now, when they
ask.
do the God of War one, they're gonna do one for God of War for sure. That one will be pretty exciting and interesting. So I'll
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
check
they'll
that
go all out. They'll go in depth with that and all that good stuff, man. But I will ask in terms of like stuff being shown. I'm gonna ask once I go through the panel and thoughts about State of the Play. State of the Play, by the way, K Mega, it's not State of Play anymore because we kept saying State of Decay. We're just blending it together now. It's State of the Play. Just to let you know. But I'll ask you about kind of like Xbox and them like showing games and stuff because it's out there. People are now like complaining and stuff. But let's see. Let's go to Crispy real quick. Crispy, did you check out State of Play? Anything with that? Did you check out the show?
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's about all I got from that.
I was growing up. I was
Huge
a
collection
huge turtle
from
fan.
that, by the way. Huge collection. Impressed that they are able to do it. I don't know if they're using emulators or whatever, but good on them. Other than that,
Well, dude, you'll be able to. It's multi-plat, so you'll be able to play it on your Xbox as well.
yeah, see, that's where people get all, like, hey, they don't well, guess what? If Xbox does it, it's a bad thing, but hey, PlayStation can do it. And
Future Generation said State of Confusion. Dude, bro, I hear you.
They shush you. That's all they do. Holy Square Enix Batman. Holy shit. Just said that, didn't I?
Yeah, no, you did, and yeah, I can see where you're coming from. So much from Square in that show, man. It was kind of crazy. They could have called it a Square Enix show.
Yeah, basically, and then Bethesda had to smash the party real quick with little Ghostwire Tokyo from.
Dude, am I the only one? I don't know what it is about that. Like, I'm not feeling Ghostwire, man.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that game either.
Oh, thank you. I can't be the only one. I appreciate that, Fred.
I'm not feeling that. I was saying I like Crispy finish his sentence, his thoughts. So,
well, let's be honest for a second. I mean, that game looked better than at least half of what is shown. I don't know, dude.
I mean,
Forspoken. I mean, really? I'm sorry, but this is where I go and say, "Holy Square Enix, Batman!" Because guess who publishes that game?
I'm gonna guess Square Enix.
So you had what? Technically 4 titles because you have the Final Fantasy DLC coming out. So you have 4 titles from Square. Let's not forget that the trash they brought out recently. We could bring Outriders as one. Yeah, in concept, good game. Execution,
Outriders was fun
horrible.
Outriders was fun for about a month, and then like it just went away after
the
that.
If you could get on.
The execution was horrible in that game because it had potential, but they almost wanted it to fail. They almost wanted it to fail. It's almost like Anthem for EA, except EA held on a lot longer because it was by BioWare. I think that's the only reason why they held on longer. Dude, even though they pushed BioWare to do things they didn't want to do.
I just want to let
that's
you know,
my point.
Anytime you mention Anthem, a tear comes out of K-Maga's eye. I just want to let you know that, bro. All right.
Well, I mean, does a flower like bloom after? Like, I don't know. Let's be honest for a second, okay? Like, this is the type of thing where you're going to say, okay, we have these games coming out, but most of the games are either third-party published, timed exclusive, or could be fully exclusive, or they are what Sony fanboys called Game Pass fodder, even though I disagree. I think a game is for what a certain person, that single individual, wants to enjoy. So regardless of a meta score, which, oh, by the way, what did we do last year? Oh, let's be honest here, okay? I still will say meta who, because I have seen games that are 60s that have become great. And when somebody jumps in at that point in time, they love it. So I don't know. Like, I give it, 7.5. That's what I give it. And I give it that because I didn't see anything that I hear narratives about, but I also don't underestimate Square because at the same time, they've come out with games that people absolutely are obsessed with. So it's hard to gauge what was shown. I will say TMNT is like, that's like NES status, like playing
that's a
on the
highlight
Sega
for you,
Genesis.
right?
Dude, that's pulling at the heartstrings. I'm like, damn, bro, like, no, this is not right. Like, I want this shit on Game Pass. And it could possibly be, but I mean, as of now, like, still, like, PlayStation, they played their game as they usually do, but I mean, I see a lot of PlayStation guys like, they didn't hit those bangers. And I agree with that completely. But at the same time, I'm like, the reason why Forspoken didn't hit different is because they delayed it. You know what I'm saying? They still showed you what the game's going to be. It looks interesting gameplay wise. The problem I have is as of now, it looks somewhat muddy. And I've looked on multiple different sites and everything else, 4K, everything. It looks muddy. So
see my issue is kind of like the animations and how janky they are, and even with that being said, I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy now, and I think we can all, for people out there who have played it, I think we could admit when it comes down to animations and kind of like hit detection and stuff like that, there are times where that game, that you got Drax coming down on nothing, but the enemy's like 2 people away from him, and he's hitting that person, but he's coming down just like on the ground or whatnot. Game's not perfect, but the jankiness of what I've seen in the movement and stuff, that's what kind of turns me off to Forspoken. But yeah, like the backdrop story wise, and kind of like that chick's kind of like from this era, this world, and she's put into this fantasy world with dragons and all these other creatures.
What's that movie with what is it, Eddie Murphy, I think? What's that movie?
Say Golden Child.
Golden Child, probably.
One of my favorite movies right there, by the way.
You go, like I've seen, it's almost like an old movie I've seen, but that's where I go and say, like, I agree with you. Like, the gameplay just didn't seem right. But at the same time, like, it just looked muddy. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I get people right now, you can go and say PS5 is doing better on, like, the way it looks and everything in certain games. But I feel like as these games go to the new engines, I don't know, bro. I think you're gonna see the Series X be like bar none better, but you gotta get your hands on one.
Well, in terms of like games like the multiplats and there are multiplats that are looking or performing better on PS5, and then there are multiplats that are like performing, looking better on the Series X. What this is coming down to is where the developers are spending their more of their time like developing the game. I think that's what's coming down to it. There are certain instances, certain developers that don't necessarily put a lot of time and effort in kind of like you know uh, developing for a particular platform. So the other platform looks better because they put more time and effort into building the game on that platform. I think that's what we're seeing a lot more of because when it comes down to it, there's certain things like when you look at like Assetto Corsa, the racing game, uh, that game graphically, the cars look really good, but there's other parts of that game that are absolute mess, like the low resolution, like backdrops. You got like the 2D cardboard cutout audiences, and then for some rhyme or reason, it's hitting 60 frames per second on PS5, a lot more at a lot more stable rate than on the Xbox. When I see that, I'm seeing that the devs just spent more time on the PS5 and just threw the port over on Xbox as well. And it's kind of something that they're known for with making multiplats. But that's what I see going on. I know people are arguing over power and this and that, and this game looks better, but there's a mix. There's games that run and look better on the Series X, and then there's games that, for some rhyme or reason, run and look better on the PS5. And I think it's up to the developers and where they're spending their time and utilizing their time in developing these games, man. But I don't know. Let's K Mega, did you check out State of Play, bro?
Yes, I did.
And what did you think about the show and what they had to show? Was there anything in there that you were excited about? What were your thoughts?
Oh, I was excited about the whole show. Thought it was great.
Like a kid in a candy store. That's K Mega right there, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I if there's one thing that has never left me since after being such a diehard, hardcore PlayStation fan is my love for Japanese games. I still love them, always will. Even though I'm a primary Xbox gamer now, but it's just to see that. I thought it was a good, State of Play. I thought it was really good, but just to see, and I don't know if this is a segue because I didn't get to hear that part. If you said we were going to kind of separate it and talk about what games are going to Xbox, what games were going to stay on PlayStation.
No, I didn't mention. I was saying like afterwards I'm going to talk about because with these shows that PlayStation's given us on a regular, I'm going to talk about what Xbox is showing because they haven't really shown anything for a while. And
okay. Yeah. So so my thoughts about the whole situation with this was that I enjoyed everything. There was only one game that I looked at and I was like, no, I'm not too hyped about that, and that was the Gundam game. Because if knowing that a Gundam game having a chance to come to Xbox, which it hasn't come to Xbox in a really long time, I want it to be a more story game or a fighting game. But of course, it's a shooter, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And that could be a game to have the potential to drop on Game Pass, and if that does, then I'll give it a try. But me just going out and buying it, no, I'm not interested in the least. Other than that, though, everything else I was hyped for. Like, I mean, even he was over here trying to throw a little shade at me about Anthem, but when the first showed Exo Primal, I'm like, what the hell is this? The mech suits? What? I got excited, and then they showed the dinosaurs, and I'm like, whoa, this is like Second Extinction meets Anthem. Like, what the hell is this? Like, but it looked cool though. And so, but to know that type of game is coming to Xbox as well, that definitely screams like a Game Pass game to me. But I thought the show was really, really good, man, because just for the the mere fact of just seeing titles, some of these Japanese games to come out, man, these would be something that I would get on PC or on PlayStation. But now knowing that most of them are going to be dropping on Xbox, if not all of them, at a later date, is great. Now, my biggest star was Ghostwire Tokyo. I've been talking about that game. I've been hyping that game up from the day I seen it because it reminded me of a game called Supreme Warrior on a Sega CD. And so I don't know how many times I beat that game on Sega CD. Supreme Warrior was so damn dope to me. So just to see that game have that type of same vibe, and graphically it's more polished, defined. So I'm gonna definitely double dip on that game. I'm copping that this month. Hopefully it drops on PC day one when it drops on PlayStation 5 and 4. Because I'm not gonna desecrate buying that game on the PlayStation 4. So until I get so I'm gonna have to get it on PC. But I'm definitely gonna be waiting for it to drop back on the Xbox next year. But that was the highlight for me. The next was like what I think everybody on panel will agree was the Cowabunga collection. That's going to be slick. Me and Don was talking about that when we did Devin the Gamer, and basically only thing we was reading into the online aspects. I hope that I'm pretty sure that the online, because you will get to play some online stuff with it. So I'm thinking that the arcade titles with the 4-player co-op will allow you to play online, and hopefully the fighters that it has on there will be played. You can play those online as well. If not, then it'll just be couch co-op. But yeah, no, I'm stoked about that, and then I can always go back and play that crazy ass game that I was on the NES. I beat it. That was one of the games that I beat a long time ago, right after Rygar. And so to go back and to see if I could try to go through that whole sequence again and play that and see if I could beat that and make that stupid jump when you're in the sewers, that's gonna make me or I might rage quit and say, fuck it, I beat it back in the days. I don't need to beat it. But I can't wait. I can't wait to play all those turtle games. And then of course there's that Shredder game that's gonna be coming out too. That's gonna be dropping. So yeah, the Turtles is back strong. So I'm really excited about that. The one thing I thought that nobody didn't mention was other than Pred with all this damn noise in the background, is
it's distracting a little, man. Distracting a little bit.
The spaghetti Western samurai game. Like you got that that game looked dope. It was in black and white. It was a samurai and he was fighting and it was like had these sequences. It was made by Devolver, the people who made Shadow Warrior 3 or the Shadow Warrior. So that looked really, really dope. I'm surprised you got nobody on the panel.
I missed it, man. There was a time where I went to go.
Yeah, it was called. It was hard to pronounce. Well, Yuri of Yomo or something like that is how you pronounce it. I forgot how you say it, but that game looked really good. But it was a spaghetti Western style. Yeah. That looks really, really cool. So like I said, there was a lot of stuff in there that I really enjoyed. And then the game that looked like Final Fantasy Tactics, that's coming to Xbox. Mm-hmm. And then the other game that they showed, which was Valkyrie Elysium or something like that.
Valkyrie Elysium,
yeah, Valkyrie Elysium. That was the one I was wanting to come to Xbox as well, but that's going to be a timed exclusive. So so I'm going to probably have to wait a while for that. But both of those games look dope to me. But yeah, no, I mean, and then Forspoken, I know some of you on the panel, y'all, I get it. When they first showed some of the gameplay of it, and it looked ashy, didn't look right. This looked just even what they showed from the last time that they showed it earlier in the year or last year to now. Damn, that game looks good. It looks good. Had a good vibe to it. Music was tough. I thought all that was just like dope. So I'm gonna cop that on the PC. You know what I'm saying? That PC Xbox combination is gonna be solid for me. So I'm looking forward to that. So like I said, everything except for the Gundam game was the only thing that I wasn't all in for. Everything else, and you know how I am about fighters. So yeah, that's a day one buy for me. The one last point that I want to make is that this is very important for the Xbox brand to have these titles, regardless of how you feel about it. The thing of it is that what made the 360 and the Xbox, the OG Xbox, um, to have the standing that they do or that they did is the fact that they had variety. And for all of those games except for Returnal to come on Xbox is saying something, because there are games that just didn't or wouldn't have came on the Xbox One last gen at all. Those games would have stayed on PlayStation and went to PC. None of those games would have dropped on Xbox. Not one, except for the Cowabunga collection. That would have been the only one. You would damn sure wouldn't have got the fighter. You wouldn't have got, and you might have got the spaghetti western game. Those two we would, but you damn sure wouldn't have got Gundam. When was the last time a Gundam game was on Xbox? Think about that. So that
Jamie
is showing.
just said I believe he said a Gundam RPG coming to Xbox in the chat. Yo, Jamie, yeah, the Gundam action RPG also coming to Xbox. Yo, Elusive Gamer in the chat. Okay. Yo, what's the name of that title, man? You can't.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm hype about that.
You can't just say describe the game without the name, man. Come on.
but he's proving my point though. Like, this generation is already kicking off spectacular because you're getting the variety. Doesn't matter if you like these games or not. That's not the point. The point is that we knew last gen those games would never have touched the Xbox platform. It is now. Phil and that team out there in Greenberg have been doing their work. So I am so pleased about this. And then this just opens up more variety for all of us to just enjoy all the type of games. Even, like I said, if you like them or you don't, because, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So that's what had me even more excited about the state of play, just because I knew
that there was going to be so many games also launching in Game Pass.
See, that game is fire. I'm surprised you didn't even see that. Like, it's an indie smaller title, look like, but just the concept was really dope. It was set in the black and white, samurais, the village gets taken out, badass. Badass samurai sitting there waiting through the fire, like, yeah, I did this to your town. You know what I'm saying? So, what you gonna do about it? And then so the dude got to go through the struggle and all that, like, just typical style, but it looks really, really good. So big shout out to them for making that. And like I said, the Xbox is doing their work. So I was really pleased with it. I give it an 8.5.
Nice, bro. Yo, a couple shout outs real quick. Yo, boom, boom, kaboom! Nukem is in the room. Yes, people, he is in the chat. What is up, brother? What is up, Michael Turner? Good to see you. Skywalker is in the building as well. Let's see, there was a couple other people I saw that said hi. I'm trying to say hi back. Of course, Mizzle T Shizzle, a member of this channel, is here. What is going on, bro? Good to see everybody in the chat. Guys, you know what to do. Yo, share the show out. Yo, copy the link. Put it out there on social media. Let people know that we are live right now. And we are talking about State of Play. We got more topics to come when it comes down to it. We are going to be talking about Halo. We are going to be talking about Mr. Michael Pachter on RDX doing some very outrageous claims that I want to hear the panel's opinion on. But guys, before we move on to that, we just had State of Play. As you can see, we're getting kind of like regular these little shows from PlayStation, showing games that are coming, whether they're multi-plat or whatnot, but they're putting them out there. They're big titles, they're first party titles. They're dedicating these shows like wholly to those as well. But they're keeping people in the loop in an entertaining way. Now, when it comes to this year for Xbox, I think we can all agree that when Stalker 2 got delayed until kind of like later in the year, that was a pretty big blow because that was a big game coming to Xbox, coming to Game Pass this month. This was supposed to be the Stalker 2 month for Xbox gamers. I think that was a pretty big blow in kind of like keeping that momentum that they started in the holidays last year. You know, with Forza Horizon, Halo Infinite, and just kind of hitting those cylinders and kind of like moving forward. But people are starting to claim that Xbox is really quiet and they need to start showing something. Now, I'm going to give my opinion on this. I love getting updates about games that are coming and stuff like that. I love getting shows, you know, getting getting information in an entertaining way. So I'm never gonna turn down. Hey, they should do more shows, especially when you look at there really hasn't been too much from Xbox in the terms of shows within like the short term. Going through the holidays into this year, there really hasn't been. Of course, we had the Video Game Awards, but that's not an Xbox show. But they did have stuff to show there. But I'm saying I'm never gonna say no. They should not do shows, especially when I want to know about games like Redfall that's supposed to come out this year. That's a game that really has my interest in the terms of um what they're making it to be. That Vampire Slayer open world co-op game. That whole thing. I want to see that in action. I want to get more information. I feel like this area right here would be a good place to drop one of these shows and kind of let people know, especially games that are coming this year. So let me start with Predator on this. What do you think when it comes down to it? Shows that kind of tell people what games are coming in an entertaining way and stuff like that. Well, what do you think about Xbox here? Do you think like they're being too quiet? Do you think they need to do more like this? Like, what's your opinion, bro? Did he take his dog out?
No, I
Oh,
muted myself.
oh.
Um,
Because you warned me about you taking your dog out, man. So you can't be quiet like that because you muted yourself.
Hold on now. My dog is blind. She's in a new house. She don't know where anything's at. She's
Dude, I'm
bumping
not
into
saying it's a
shit. So
bad thing, but
like
if you're
I feel
quiet
bad
like
for her, man. She's looking at me like I don't know where anything's at right now.
that.
So I have to walk her now. So I used to out of the backyard, I used to take her
Aw.
out and look around. So
Now you're
poor
making me feel
puppy.
bad for her, man.
I do even talking shit. No, I just have myself muted. But I mean, I kind of mentioned this on the last topic, and I was talking about how like we haven't had an inside Xbox in forever. It seems like so. I do think it's been quiet like ever since I think the last like big like and not saying that small things aren't important either, but like I think the last major news we got from Microsoft was the purchase of what's it called? Jesus, I can't think of it now. Um,
Activision.
Activision,
Yeah,
yeah. And
pending
so
pending purchase on that as
pending
well.
purchase on that, yeah. But I mean, we haven't really heard shit from them since then. I know they're probably trying to get the shit, done with the FCC or whatever, the Congress and shit signed through. So, but I mean, we haven't heard shit from them. So, um, and I honestly don't know off the top of my head when the next major Xbox release is off
Well,
the top of my head.
I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, we have Starfield
That's at
coming
the end
out
of the
on
year. I mean,
11/11.
like between now and I don't know, fucking Forza.
Well, and Forza hasn't even been announced for this year. Let's be
Yeah.
real about it.
So
So
I mean, we got E3 coming up in like probably what June. So maybe then I guess it's gonna be quiet until then. Just suck it up and drop a couple things in Game Pass, something like that. But I mean, like there's nothing
do you think
there's
that's a
nothing
good
out there.
do you think that's a good move though? If they stay quiet until E3, like I don't see the
No, I
problem.
don't because like anytime Microsoft has something, nothing that I mean, like anytime Microsoft drops something, what does Sony do?
They
Like
try,
they drop some news that same fucking day.
yeah.
Like what I'm saying? So like, and I'm not saying Microsoft needs to play this. Like drop some. Like they're being way too quiet right now, and they should have. I mean, and again, I don't know what they can say right now. They don't have anything coming out. So what are they going to talk about? I mean, like give us an update on. I mean, they keep pushing shit back. Like the Halo stuff got pushed back. I mean, like, because that was supposed to come like right now, right? The first initially, like the Halo stuff, like the
It's supposed to
DLC
be
and
out by
stuff,
now.
supposed to come right around now. So
Season 2,
like like we there's so much stuff that we haven't heard about, and they just tend to forget about it sometimes. And we just like you brush it off, like And so this is the time of the year. I think Sony kind of got out of the game plan of focusing on the holidays and dropping stuff then, and they focus on this time period because there's nothing here from like January to like March, April, like maybe even April, May time period. There's really nothing going on in the gaming streets like right around this time period. So this is a perfect opportunity for them to get my share. Because last year they did this too. They dropped all their games at the beginning of the year, the first 4 or 5 months of the year, and then they had nothing for the holidays. Whereas Microsoft was the complete opposite. They dropped everything for the holidays, and I mean it's I guess a traditional method of dropping shit like between October, November, December. Like that's how things have always been done. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't put games out in February, March, April, and be successful. I know a lot of the bulk of the money comes around that end of the year, around the holiday season, but like we got like 8, 9 other months of the fucking year. You know what I'm saying? So like, stop doing this shit at the end and cramping it with everything. And I think Sony caught on to that. They're like, you know what? Why are we gonna compete with Battlefield or in Halo? And we can just drop this game in, February, March, April, when nothing's out, and have that whole space to ourselves. You know. But as far as like just talking about stuff, Microsoft never does that. They never mention shit like that. They like, like we haven't had a state of the play. We haven't
State of
had
the play.
inside Xbox. We haven't had like I haven't seen Mr. White Gloves in a while. Like I mean, like where are these people? Even Aaron Greenberg's been kind of silent. So um like I don't know why they do this though. This is like
Yo,
like
Aaron
you,
and Larry Herb were in Aspen. That's where they were. Like they
yeah,
had
but you
pictures that said
gotta
they went to Aspen.
you gotta make a you gotta stay consistent. Like it's in this industry, it's not it's more or less what have you done for me lately? And if you kind of take that break like they're doing right now, they'll slowly become irrelevant for a little while until they drop something. And when they drop something, it shouldn't be E3.
Mm.
And then we don't hear from them from fucking December up until then. And that's what it's been. And so that just gives Sony the opportunity to regain mind share over the first half of the year.
Well, yeah, not just that, but if you're not out there talking about stuff like they by the end of the day they're gonna have like over 30 they have over 30 studios, right?
Hmm.
They're games that are slotted to come out like this year. With them having so much going on under their first party umbrella, I know people are talking about E3 is the place to show. Yeah, E3 is the place to show stuff coming up and stuff, but they have so many like projects, so many teams in their development studios working on things. They'll never run out of stuff to show for E3. So why not, make these like smaller shows that will come out like, in the February time frame and kind of give a little more insight into, maybe a couple games that are coming out this year and whatnot. Like I have no problem with that. I think that would be a good way to do things, man.
Yeah, you're right. Just, massage the tip a little bit,
Yeah,
keep
pretty
me
much.
interested. And they're not doing that. So we'll see what happens. I mean,
Subscribe to Pred's OnlyFans.
Yo, K Mega, what do you think about this, man? I don't know if you're in the same ballpark.
I couldn't disagree more.
Oh my goodness.
We talk about this every 6 months.
We
And
wouldn't if they actually did something.
really, when they did, there was still people that were saying, "Oh, we want more."
Yeah, I'm not talking about them.
Yeah, well, no. But yeah, but I am, and so this is the problem. This is the problem, and I hate to do it to y'all tonight because I don't know if Crispy's going to be on my side or he's going to be on the rest of y'all. But I got to do it to you. I got to hit you with I got to hit y'all with it. when Xbox had their event, that monthly event, what did y'all do? What did Fred say every damn time that show came on?
I don't know,
It
Fred.
sucked.
What did you say? Did you say
It sucked. It sucked.
I know I didn't do that. I don't know why.
Fred knows I'm not lying. No. Fred knows I'm not lying.
I don't know why you're grouping me into that.
Every time that show came on, it sucked. Crispy talked about the show. You sometimes was on and off. I would say, hey, I liked it. I mean, the only time that I had
real opinions.
No. Because I'm listening to you now as you over here contradicting yourself. So let me go over here.
If you said I was on and off, how am I contradicting myself?
Oh, you gonna let me talk, or you gonna?
Okay, no, but you.
Are you gonna talk? Are you gonna keep talking?
I love you too,
so
bro.
thank you. Yeah. Because I told you, you about to get it. You about to get this work. So this is the problem. When that event was coming, what is that? What was it? Inside Xbox came out. Everybody bitched about it. They complained. They hated it. The one episode that I said, "Whoa, they went way too far." They could have did this and put that on Larry Herb's weekly show that they put on Xbox with the whole State of Decay, the zombie thing. That was just too much. That was the worst one. That was awful. I always enjoy the interviews and things like that. But see, this is the problem though. For content creators and people who loves to listen to content creators, they want to hear some spicy. This is why, to me, and I don't know why, but I guess people just want to be victims of the circumstance of the situation. But it is pretty damn awful of the predictions that these PlayStation fans give to their people for the state of play. There's only been one or two state of plays that's been actually solid in the sense of their belief or whatever, because
their expectations.
Their expectations, because it never ever hits their expectations. Never. But the one thing you give Sony is that they still keep rolling and doing what they're doing. Now, because people see it, they're like, oh man, I want Xbox to do the same thing. No, you don't. Because when Xbox shows them indies, the first thing we're going to do is going to see, Fred, what do you think? Predator, what do you think? It sucked. Waste of time. Crispy, what do you think? Yeah, it could have been better, but Xbox is the best. Bot, what do you think? Oh, it was cool. There was a couple of things here, but man, they could have cut the time out. They could have done this. They could have done that. Maybe they could separate it and do it like quarterly or every 6 months. Stop it. You sit there, they did it, and people bitched and complained, and they did not like it. So I don't want to hear it now that they need some, because Sony does this state of play, and some people thought that it was really good. Some people did, not everybody. But you know what? The thing of it is that Sony could get away with that because Sony doesn't do like a big E3 show extravaganza like they used to. The pandemic, they had like what, 2 or 3 different shows. Everything else is being shown. Jeff Keighley's show panders more to the PlayStation by showing, of course, look at what was that? Was that last year? No, that was the year before last, where he had Kojima's game come out and be shown yet again, which was the director's cut or whatever, at the last game when Forza Horizon 5 was shown. Just think about that for a second, right?
I love Forza.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing that I see people always say this. We all know what the outcome is going to be. The only thing that I want Xbox to do is to have two shows, E3 and the XO event. You give me those, I'm straight. Because you know what's bigger and what's gotten more. Hold on.
You just sparked something in my head.
I know. I just saying though, but I would like that. But if they don't, that's fine. Because you know what's winning for Xbox is when they drop the information all of a sudden out of the blue, and nobody pays attention to, and nobody was expecting it, about they got Bethesda or that they picked up Activision. Look at how that just resonated. If you got something where people are planning for something big to happen, then you give an opportunity for the people who hate Xbox to give them time to discredit it. When you drop something right off the bat that nobody's expecting, and then it hits hard, that leaves them stumbling. The way that their strategy is perfect. It was going back to the time when I made this point to you guys of saying what Xbox doing is what Phil Spencer made the decision was right, to not show his hand too early. Because when PlayStation does it, they're going to get certain type of credit for it. I get it. Some people want to say, just let me know the Killer Instinct 2. Just give me a headliner or something. No, don't do this, because if you sit there and show a game, then you're going to have a Crackdown 3. You're going to have a Scalebound. Phil learned his lesson on that. PlayStation can get away with it because there's enough apologists out there. Xbox doesn't. So that's my whole thought process of it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, no, don't have a monthly show. Just drop that good hot shit when people least expect it. And if you want to add another show, make it the XO event, or just keep using the VGAs as your point of emphasis to end the year properly. That's it.
Okay.
Period.
Well. First off, I want to say I appreciate you, K Mega. Because
of course
you just made me sound like the most grounded gamer on the panel, man, and I
oh
appreciate
my
that.
God,
to be able
no,
to
sir.
say I
no,
like
sir.
the show, and then say parts I didn't like, but still say I overall liked the show and gave my pluses and minuses of it. I don't think there's a problem with that.
You're trying to sugarcoat.
No, see,
you're trying to sugarcoat.
But no, see, you're letting me talk now, right? Because
go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because when it came down to it, there was many shows where I'm like, I liked it when they didn't show any big titles, but they were showing some small titles that were coming in. I let people know the games I liked and stuff like that. I wasn't on that whole thing of this show was absolute garbage or I just didn't like this. There were shows that were not good. All right. And yeah, I would say that, but for the most part, I got excited. I got criticized on other shows I was on for being excited about the smaller titles and stuff that they were showing on those Xbox shows as well. So you actually made me sound like the most grounded gamer when it came down to it. Now, when it comes to Xbox, why would Xbox be thinking about the console war strategy there? That makes no sense whatsoever. All right, they are a big ass company.
Are you at? Did you just ask me a question? Because I'll address that really quick.
No, well,
how was that? How was that a console war to say that we got that they purchased Activision?
PlayStation's got more.
That's not console war
and stuff like that. That's all console war drama when it comes down
to it, man.
That's a
media. Fact.
But it's a console war. It's within the console war community.
No.
Dude, you even said. Hold on. You even said that when you went to E3. It wasn't even about all that. All right. So why would that be a part of your business strategy?
Bro. I'm with Mega.
Okay.
You got to call a spade, bro.
But again, that is console war. That is console war
no,
community right
it's
there.
not.
That's not.
Dude, what people are saying on social media about that, that there is a console war community out there, and that's where you get that.
We're talking contradictions. We're talking people just completely destroying themselves with a statement half a month later or something
but dude,
that's what I'm talking about.
I would not
let war. That's calling it like you see it. That's the way I look at it.
But nah, that I would never let that whole thing dictate what I am showing my gamers, my consumers out there when it comes down to it. People who use that shit to argue back and forth between platforms or whatever, they can do whatever they want. I'm not even paying attention in those forums.
No, I understand that completely,
but to leave your consumers and stuff in the dark because of there's not as many apologists out there on the Xbox side as opposed to the PlayStation. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm just giving you my.
I'm sorry. I just no. You're fine. I was going to refer to Fahim because he must not have heard what I said about State of Play, because he said that's my point. They didn't show anything big, but if it was a big State of Play, K Mega, what would you be saying? You didn't listen to what I said. You must have just dropped in because
8.5, man.
I gave this State of the Play an 8.5. So if it was big, I gave them a healthy 8.5. I said there was only one game that I was not interested in. So So yeah, I probably would have gave it a damn 10 if it was a big showing, if they showed God of War, if they showed Bloodborne remake, or if Metal Gear Solid, or all that other bullshit that the so-called PlayStation insiders knew about, and then they got caught again with their pants down, not knowing what the hell they talking
Yeah,
about.
that dude was
Stop
trolling.
listening to those
That dude
insiders.
was trolling, and journalists made the article that they're like, "Oh, Sony secretly acquired an
Stop it.
IP." They're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Metal Gear."
Oh my
That
God.
was
Okay, so I'm
crazy.
sorry. I'm sorry, Bond. I just had to address that point. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
got you, bro. I got you. Well, let me
Yeah.
shout out Sir X-Man real quick, because he is the first one tonight to hit up that super chat. That is right, people. The super chat does indeed work, and it helps out the channel so much. Thank you so much for the support, man. Definitely appreciate it. He says, play Guardians, I guess Guardians of the Galaxy on my phone. No Wi-Fi, works perfectly. Oh, bro, I didn't even think about that, man. But I was playing it on my Series S on my 4K TV, and that also works perfectly, man. But shout out to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Crispy, when it comes down to it, Xbox, in terms of showing their consumer stuff in an entertaining way, what do you think, man? Are they lacking here? What's going on?
They had it right a few years ago. Third party showcase, first party showcase, XO event. There you go. That's what they did. I believe it was 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it okay. Criticism. That's where I'm with K Mega. Absolute ridiculous criticism. Okay. You saw Stalker, you saw Scorn, you saw a lot of games for the first damn time. Right on there. Okay. With the pandemic surging at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not there, but it's there. There are problems. There are people getting sick. This is where it started. How dare people like act like it's just something crazy that a game can get delayed, or a company can say, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore because it didn't work, because people actually had more negative thoughts. Like, that's what Xbox was like, you know what, this is not working. And you know what, they didn't do it right. They should have had gameplay. They should have focused on 1 to 2 games, things that you can learn from, but they chose to just X-nay it. You know what I mean? Just like Mixer, dude. I loved Mixer, but they're just like slash done. And that's where, like, hopefully, you know, Phil being at even a higher position at this point. He's basically on the board. Okay. So I mean, I haven't had the confirmation that he's on the board, but he's on the board. That's the way I look at it. And the company is going into games as a service direction. That's what they're going. And, you know, I look forward to see what they're going to do, because Phil's a gamer at the end of the day. I see him playing games. You know, I never try to join a party because, you know, generally they're locked, but there's like 10 people in there. The guy plays games. That's what I look at somebody that's just like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care that we're going to release this game, Ghostwire Tokyo. Bang. PlayStation exclusive for what, a year, I believe. So, you know, and we're just going to get Deathloop. Like, you got to understand, like, you just purchase a company, let's do the right thing, and just, you know, here you go. Microsoft's been ahead of the times so many times. You know what I mean? Peripherals, you know, TV. Well, guess what? I hear that from PlayStation a lot. Just saying.
A lot of
Okay?
TV. No, bro, you right.
You know, streaming now. I should actually, let's clarify. It's streaming now.
Is it not on TV though?
It's our TV now. Like,
Yeah,
even for me,
yeah.
dude. I'm not young, bro. I'm 34 years old. You know, I've seen
Damn, Mega, you said
analog
34
TV.
is not young.
I was
man. He made me feel old as shit.
I was clicking the TV to get the right station. Okay, the TV was clicking at me. So let's be honest here. But I look at it now, and I'm like, all I see is like, they're trying to sell you the Dual Sense. They're trying to sell you the TV remote, which is a streaming remote. It's like if you had a Roku, for example. So you're looking at that and you're like, okay, cool. All right, 3D sound. Okay. Well, a lot of the games, especially third party, do not support this. Haptic feedback, which, to be honest with you, rumble triggers, I had them for a long time. And it's not haptic feedback, but it doesn't disrupt my game as well. But I mean, we are playing, single player games on PlayStation. And that's the problem. Why are we there? You see the games coming out, but they're from Square Enix. If they're multiplayer, you have Returnal. Okay. I saw a 2-second clip. You're touting Final Fantasy. That's what you're doing. Fine. I agree with that. There's not a lot that touches Final Fantasy. I have a friend that like lost his life from it, like for like a good 2 years. Okay, so I understand Final Fantasy, and he continues to play Final Fantasy 14 to this day right now. So, I get it, but at the same time, it's like throwing GTA out there, and it's $10 less than Series X. I don't know why. I don't think anybody knows, but we're talking $20. That's why nobody's like going crazy about it. It's like, okay, $20, $10. What's the difference? And I'm hearing it's only online. I don't know if that's true, but
we're talking about shows like like
you got a
got
real
you.
Crispy in sometimes, man. You just keep going. So I got to stop him sometimes, like Chris, to get to the point.
Yeah, man.
Well, he did a segue for you, so take advantage.
He did. But hold on, one second. All right. Again, like
Crispy on that sauce today. I like it.
Well,
I'm starting my drinking now.
Fred, we got to you first on that. So, all right, we got that one covered, man. Let's move on to something. This this is gonna be interesting. I want to
exotic butters
where the panel goes with this. Halo. For people who play Halo Infinite.
Oh no. Let me go first because I'll be quick.
People who play Halo Infinite, people who get into the Halo franchise, everybody's been waiting for information about content to be coming out. Now, 343 did go out on social media. They started talking about season 2. One of the things was co-op campaign will still be coming out during season 2, but it's not going to be ready at the launch of season 2 for Halo Infinite. Now, I've seen people out there on social media try to stretch it out that it's not going to be, it's going to be 8-9 months until co-op comes out. Oh, it's not coming out until season 3, and these people are trying to build up something to be more negative than what it might be. So co-op's still coming out in season 2. They say the biggest issue they're having is in terms of the open world aspect and having multiple players on that world. I guess they're trying to figure out, what kind of tether, if they should have that tether system, or if people should be able to branch out and go wherever they want. Because if you're playing co-op, then you should be kind of like within the areas that you're playing together. You know what I'm saying? And you can see if they do 4-player co-op, it's like you go to that base, you go to that base, you go to that base, you go to that base. Like they're gonna just run through everything. I can see what they're saying with that whole thing. So they're trying to kind of get their solution put into that. they talked about coming out with maps for season 2, and they talked about 2 specifically. There was one kind of like more traditional arena map, which from a couple of the pictures I saw looked really good. Then they have a big team battle map. Now they focused on those, but that doesn't mean that those are the only ones that are coming out in this season. And again, if you're looking out there, people on social media, they're just saying 2 maps. They kind of focused on those. They were ready to talk about those 2, but that's not saying that that's the only 2 that are coming out. But I guess the big thing here is the lead for Halo's multiplayer, Andrew Witz. Um, Basically quote unquote left 343 and his position at 343, and on his Twitter he says, listen to these words carefully, all right guys, because it says, today was my last day at 343 Industries. It has been an honor leading the multiplayer design team over these years. Thank you to all the Halo fans for your feedback over the years. We made this game for you. Then he says, going to take some time off to relax and recharge, but I'm excited for what's next. Okay? That right there, in my opinion, tells me he was let go. And I honestly can see why he would be let go. Because when it comes to the multiplayer and such, when it came out bare bones, right? It came out bare bones. There was enough there to get into and stuff, but when you're talking about a free to play game as a service, uh, you're talking about fresh content coming in. You definitely want enough content there in the beginning. If there is going to be a lull for the new content to come out, you see the whole issues with the microtransaction system and how people thought that was too expensive. They fixed that. But I can see why 343 would decide, hey, we are moving on from this person when it comes to leading the multiplayer design team. It's been crazy. It's been crazy, and I feel that some of the criticism for Halo Infinite is definitely warranted because of the structure that they built the game on. All right. I am looking forward to season 2. I do want to see more than 2 maps. I do know that there are more modes on their way as well. There's King of the Hill, and there's 2 brand new modes going into that, which I think is really awesome. Do I feel that some people are out there, they're overplaying this just because Halo is that franchise title for Xbox, and they want to magnify anything negative? They are definitely doing that out there. But that doesn't mean that the Halo fans and the Xbox fans gotta kind of keep their mouths shut if there's any criticism, any kind of input that they can put into as well to make it a better experience, kind of like moving forward. And that's kind of what I like to do. I feel like they do need that content. If you want people constantly playing, you need that content, and you need that content fairly quickly as well. People can get real finicky. Like the most popular games on that free to play spectrum are battle royales. You're not going in that direction. You're not doing that kind of like huge, just throw everybody into the pot and see who comes out as the winner type situation. You're going into more structured, competitive, big team battle, working together. That whole scenario. I feel like you need more content on a regular basis. But that's my opinion on here. But there is a lot of drama, again, as usual, when it comes to a Halo game. But there is a lot of drama about what's going on with season 2, where is the content, all that good stuff, and of course the design lead, I feel, got let go. So K Mega, you said you wanted to go first on this. What are your thoughts on what I just said, man? What are your thoughts on the state of Halo right now in terms of the multiplayer?
Listen, I said this on Devin the Gamer, and I'm going to keep that same energy, like I said with Battlefield.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Yeah, Fahim, this is Destiny. This
Yeah.
is the new raid. This is a part of the new raid in Destiny, man. But go ahead. My bad, K-Mega.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to just say you got to keep that same energy. Listen, if you know that the stuff is not ready to go, or if you have an inkling that the stuff is not ready to go, do not give people false notification that it is 100% going to happen. Doesn't matter if you got conflicts within the office or whatever the situation may be, because I mean, there's so much speculation, but you add more speculation if you do not, if you're just not honest with the public. Like, I mean, that to me is the problem. You know, look, what I said, and I said this to Don, I said this to everybody else, is that look, the one reason why Halo Infinite gets multiplayer, getting the pass is because it's free to play. And because Halo is, or I should say 343 Industries is doing something completely different with Halo. That's the pass. But you can't keep being that habitual line stepper. Keep telling people, well, we're going to have this and it's going to have this, and you display it and you got that. And then when people are expecting it to happen on this exact date and it don't, and then you come out with some little writing or a little small clip in and like, we're sorry. No. You shouldn't have opened your mouth in the first place. You should have said to be determined. And yes, people would have still complained. People would have still been bitching. But at least they didn't have a date to follow and say, you promised us this. Now, I'm not advocating for anybody to try to talk bad to devs and be disrespectful, because they are human beings just like we are. You know, just like we are. No. But I'm saying you got to put their ass to the fire, though, by letting them know you shouldn't have opened your mouth if you knew it weren't ready. And we understand. Look, the biggest problem, and then I'll be done. The biggest problem was this. I told Don this yesterday. They shouldn't have released the multiplayer on November 15th, because they knew then that the game or they should have had somebody to tell them, look, people are going to start getting tired of the same map rotation over and over. We got the holidays coming in. People going to take breaks. I don't know. And so like that goes to what Don always says, like there's some bad management or something right there, because I understand that they did it because they wanted to do goodwill, and it is beautiful, and I thought it was fantastic. But you know what's the difference between people for what they did for adding the game to let it be playable on the 15th of November, and then instead of having the game be dropped on the 8th when the whole game was supposed to release, is that you would have a little bit more time to get that to get people on your side to say, okay, I got you. The holidays was here. You had Christmas, New Year's. I get it. We'll let that slide. But you already dropped that game, and then you had ample time, and people think within that time frame, even though a lot of us don't know how development works, but all they know is that, look, you said that the product is ready to go. Now you're telling me that you still wait because of whatever conflicts or time constraints or whatever. You should have waited. That's the situation. And so therefore, look, like I said, Halo's going to get this pass because it's free to play. But if this was a paid game, even if it was just $60, people would have been looking at this completely different. So just don't tell people that this is coming out at this date, that date. Just say is yet to be determined, and then go from there. That's all I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying, man. And you make some valid points now. But the thing is, to have a game as a service, and this being a free to play situation, you kind of gotta let them know what's coming in the future. And my biggest
yeah, but you don't have to give them a date though.
No,
you don't have to give them an exact date.
No, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I guess I could say worst case scenario with this is 343 doesn't necessarily understand what it means to be a game as a service. They feel like as long as they get it out quicker,
Yes.
they get it out quicker than like Halos with the DLCs, like from like the Halo Reach and stuff like that. Because you remember Halo 5, every month they were coming out with new maps. They were coming out with new weapon skins. Like they were coming out with new modes. Like it was amazing. Halo 5 Guardians, dude. The support on that title was incredible by them. Every month they had new stuff to get. So that I was confident about them because of that with Halo 5. But to see kind of like this drought when it comes to maps, when it comes to content and this title, it makes me question: do they really do they really know what that game as a service, that with the free to play structure, what that really entails? Like they have to come out with content frequently. It's one of the main reasons why they made the Slip Space engine. They said it was so easy to add content and get it out there for the consumers. I remember them saying that about that engine, and we have yet to see that really. You know,
right? And then there's conflicts on other things too, as well as about that old aesthetic that me, you, and Don do not like, and compared to the new aesthetic, like with Halo 4 and Halo 5. Like I got to go back to that, saying that you can have a happy medium just like you do with how the multiplayer plays. You can still give that same old aesthetic, but giving that new aesthetic in like season 4, season 5 will work. But I think from the internal stuff that's going on, and maybe that's why that designer got let go or whatever the case may have been.
he was
Obviously, it seems like there's some things going there.
Lead for the multiplayer, so he was the guy that they went to for all multiplayer decisions when it came to the design of that.
Right. So, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Look, the game is going to be okay, but you know what I'm saying? But you got to stop telling people, this is coming on this, and then doing, because then you're going to have gamers start saying, look, okay, shame on me for sitting here giving you, all these chances. You already got gamers that's having feel a certain way about games that coming out buggy and broken and stuff like that. You add to a solid franchise, this will put a black eye on a great franchise, on a superior franchise. If you keep going this path, just tell them that you're working on it. Have to show the vision, but don't give out any dates. Just say until you are 100% sure. That's all I'm saying.
I got you. And again, if this man was let go, I can also see that kind of putting a wrench into scheduling as well, because you don't want to come out and promise things by a certain date, and then you put a new person in charge, and they can't even go ahead with their vision of how they're going to structure things and move forward. They now have to live with the previous vision from the guy that they had let go as well. So I can see that kind of putting kind of like a wrench in kind of like their plans for it. But when it comes down to it, you got millions of players. The game is still so active with people as well. I don't want anybody to think that Halo is dead. There's people out there trying to share like Steam numbers or Twitch viewing numbers, which is a new thing, and I cannot believe people are using that as if the game is quote unquote dead or not, because how many people are watching it. And again, I'm like, well, not how many people are playing it, because it's still in the top 10 on Xbox in terms of people playing the game. So, when it comes down to it, the game is not dead at all. But there is definitely concerns within the community now, in terms of like how frequently they are gonna put out content. And they had maps when the game came out, but let's be real. And I think K Mega, you can agree to this. It's not enough for the long run. You know what I'm saying? Like people get tired of seeing the same places when there's only like a handful of arena maps, and less than a handful when it comes to big team. It's not enough, man. It's not enough. But let's see. Crispy, what do you think about this, man? You heard what I laid out. The design lead for multiplayer. I feel, and I heard you kind of like under your breath as well, saying he got fired. So I don't know if you agree with kind of like my outlook on that, But and in terms of like the content and when it's coming and kind of like gamers' frustrations here, like what are your opinions on all this when it comes to Halo Infinite, bro?
Let's be honest. I mean, every game lately has just felt like it has some kind of delay. Um, Even DLCs, a lot of people are just like, you know, oh, this update was supposed to come out. Oh, it didn't. That's cool. But, Halo delaying the co-op, which I personally think they're going to try to make it like free to play, just co-op, not single player. I feel like they're going to do something a little bit out of the box, but at the same time, you're engaging with other players that are on that platform, or at least can play that platform if you're on Steam or something like that. It's logical. I mean, you're trying to hit so many gamers, even in the mobile space, which is just wild to try to do. But I mean, hey, King got some game, and we'll see how that goes. They know how to develop for the mobile platform, so I'm interested in how their approach is, and I think Halo will benefit just like they did over a year ago with being delayed. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I see a logical step in how they're going to approach it, but I think it's going to be a little bit different than a lot of people even realize. Like almost like Fortnite or PUBG, and have a mobile, and you can connect with people. People continue to play that stuff. Somebody will be playing mobile against a Series X. The
Well,
game just
people can
works
do
so
that with
well.
the Xbox app and cloud if you have Game Pass anyway.
Well, and there you go. But
But that's not. I mean, technically, that it's running on a server going to a phone, but technically, that's not mobile. You don't have to develop anything different for it or anything.
well, and that's the point. Like Xbox could do it eventually, but it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of logicalness rather than just jumping the gun, which they usually do. By the way, a lot of people forget that they usually jump the gun. Even talking about you know how they've presented games. I mean, a lot of the times, if a state of play comes out and it's one game, I actually am more intrigued generally. So
Mm.
it's one of those things that's like, you know, you can't hate the game, but you hate where you're going. And
Oh,
it's hard to understand that, you know, you have to make mistakes to progress in life. And hopefully, even though they've done it once, why not do it again, but do it better? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to showcase something special. That's the way I look at it.
I got you. Yo, shout out to Michael Turner. Michael Turner said, "What about patience?" Now, brother, I hear what you're saying, and I feel the Halo community, for the most part, has been patient. Like I said, like there is no way that I am calling this a dead game at all, because
yeah.
it's not. All right, but what I am saying here is it's not just this. That it's been a rocky situation with Halo for many different things. First off, 343 promised, like, customization in terms of aesthetics for progressing, for like earning stuff in the game, uh basically being awarded for what you do. All right, and except for a couple kind of like random spots in the open world that you can open up and get aesthetics for, they haven't really put out on that promise. They haven't really solidified that there really isn't anything in the game necessarily for that. They do have the events, all right, and you know you gotta complete objectives to unlock the levels and get stuff through the events. But when it comes to, you know, getting something for getting so many killing sprees or something like that, the way that they made it sound when they first started talking about the game, they really haven't done that. Then you look at what happened with the prices of the store. There's been a lot of situations around Halo in which it got a lot of negativity. Some of it was warranted, and of course, some of it wasn't, because you do have haters out there that want to see this game fail. All right,
Right.
so it's definitely, there's definitely both sides, and uh, but when it comes to the content, you got a free to play game. You got we've been doing kind of like the same maps for months. If they had more maps already in it at launch, or if they added more maps into it by now, you wouldn't hear me say any of this. I'd just be like, any of the
Mm-hmm.
complaints would be bullshit. All right, because there is more than enough there. All right, and they do have a good framework there, but when it comes to how many maps per the game modes and stuff, I feel like it's definitely not enough right now, and that's something that they have to correct uh in development term quickly. All right, so that's not tomorrow. When Xbox acquired these studios, and the next day people are like, "Well, where are the games? They have all these studios," and it's like, dude, they just acquired them yesterday. When it comes to development patience, it's not just the next day. Where is it? But there's things that they need to correct, and since they made this engine in order to add content quickly, and you can go back and look when they talked about the slip space, that was one of the key components in making this brand new engine. uh they got to show that they can do that, though, because there's they need to be in it for the long haul. They need to have that content in this game to keep it going, man. That's all I'm saying, yo. Predator, I know you love talking about Halo, man. But again, the multiplayer lead design gone. I believe he was let go. I think Crispy agrees with me. I'm not sure if K Mega agree with me on that. I want to know what you think about that, and I want to know what you think about the state of Halo's multiplayer now. And like, do they really have to come out big with season 2, bro?
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and side with you guys and say I think maybe he was fired. You know, just the
You heard
timing of it.
the
Like
way he tweeted, because you have to watch
it
your
wasn't even the
words.
tweets. It wasn't even the tweets. Like keep in mind, like we've had, they've been talking about, the multiplayer having issues, whatever, being delayed, whatever, and certain components will be missing, whatever, and then he gets fired, or then that announcement from him comes out. So it's like the timing of it just it's kind
Mm.
of like should raise a red flag right there. Um, I just I don't want to speculate, but I would probably think that like maybe there was something going on with the aspect of them not getting it out in a certain time period and not meeting the deadline, and they released the guy. That's why I took it. So, and I mean, I'm sure when it comes out, it's going to be fresh. But like I said in the last segment that we talked about, it's what have you done for me lately?
Mm.
And they haven't really done much lately as far as multiplayer goes. And so what happens is, you'll get bored of, if you're not bored of them already, you will be soon.
Right.
Those maps. And when you have a a game as a service structure, one of the things I've always said is you got to actually add to it. You can't just
Mm-hmm.
just like and you got to do it frequently. You can't like wait fucking 7 8 months and then be like, oh, we're gonna promise this and this and this, and then delay it, and then next thing you know, a whole year goes by before you release some kind of content. And like that's not how game as a service works. Like you can't just release skins and fucking like different color map packs and shit like that for weapons and stuff and expect people to be satisfied. Like they want maps, they want new game modes, like and one of the things I hate about this whole game as a service now is like you don't get all that shit at the beginning now. Like back in the day, like you get a Battlefield, it launched with multiple maps and game modes on day one,
Right.
right? Like you didn't have to wait you know, all that shit was there. You got Rush, you got Conquest, large and small. You got, you know, all those components of the games were there when you got the game with like 7, 8 maps, you know, to play on. And now it's like they released the game with 4 maps. Now I don't know how many Halo has. I'm just throwing the numbers out there right now, but like they released the game.
7, I think.
Yeah, you released the game with 7 maps, and they or 3 game modes, and it's like it gets repetitive, you know. And it's like if you didn't have a game plan in place or a roadmap in place to get this stuff out, like when they announced the game, the DLC or the next map pack should have been almost ready to go. It should have been like 85% done,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at that point. And that way, you know, and then when they release that, finally, the next map pack should be like the next DLC.
done.
Yeah, should have been about 70, you know, 80% close to being done too. That way you consistently get a new shit out there every 3-4 months. But like if it's like if you're constantly telling us we gotta delay it, you gotta delay it, you gotta push it back, you know, because and it's always alternating, it's always changing. You're not giving us what we promised when you sold us the game. You know, you said when, and this is why I love some people. They do roadmaps. They'll say on March, like, and they do this at the very launch of the game, right? Here's what you're getting. You get this DLC March 2022, right? And they try to abide by that, but no one does that nowadays. You know, like they never uphold that end of the bargain. Where if I buy a game and I see that they're gonna have new shit coming out in March, that might have been the reason why I got the game. Like, I'm gonna enjoy the content in the beginning, but I'm also looking forward to this new content that's gonna come out in that end of in the next cycle, whatever. Nobody hits those milestones anymore. March turns into fucking August. You know, and so now you're sitting here looking at this game like, man, I've been playing the same fucking map. He's rotating with these same 6 maps for 7, 8 months. I know everything about them. I got everything figured out about them. I want some new, fresh content. And so, to me, the fact that they keep doing this, and it's not just 343, it's everybody nowadays.
It's everybody,
like,
yeah.
it's everybody. And they know we're gonna, like, as soon as it drops, we're all gonna hop back in the game and start playing it again. And so they got to the point where now they give us the minimal amount they can at the very beginning, and they nickel and dime us for 10, 15 bucks here and there on the content, and they don't even produce it when it's supposed to come out in the first place. They told us it was going to come out with. So, and then when they do announce it and they do release it, it's broken as fuck. So, I mean, like,
well, that's
and
one
we as
thing. That's one
consumers
thing I could say
keep
about
eating this shit up.
Halo. It didn't.
Yeah,
It
it's
didn't
not
release
broken.
broken. It
No,
didn't
Halo's
release
not.
broken.
Halo actually, because they cooked it for an extra year. You know, and I think
That's a great
with
point.
Halo specifically, they know they can't fuck this franchise up. And so they're going to take the time. They're going to take the extra effort to get it out right so it doesn't launch fucked up. But I can't say that for every single company that has, content that releases after launch, doesn't always work out that way. Something fucks up. But, with Halo, especially with them letting it cook an extra year, some of this shit should have been ready, or damn near ready when the game launched. This stuff they should have been working on. I think maybe that's why the guy got fired, is because they're like, dude, you had an extra year.
Yeah,
You know
where
what
is
I'm
where
saying?
is this shit? Like,
Yeah, like, what do you mean you didn't finish your homework? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, for real.
All right, you can turn it on. You can turn it in next week, and the next week comes, they're like, you still didn't finish this shit? Like, all right, man, I can't take you seriously. Get the fuck up out of here. And
Right.
that's probably what happened.
Yep.
They looked at him like, wait, you had all this time, and you knew your deadline. You knew what day we wanted this shit out, and you're still telling us you can't hit it? Like, what's the problem? Oh, I went to the ski resort this weekend, and I didn't have, like, nah, homie, my dog ate my homework. Nah, bro. Like go on somewhere, go find another job. We'll find someone else that can hit these milestones for us.
Well, Pred, what makes this even worse, kind of like within the Halo community, when this game dropped, when they dropped the season pass, it was found out, and you can even see in the achievement when you complete the season pass, the picture on it says 120. In terms of, there was 120 levels in the season pass. There's only 100 levels in this season pass, and then you look at, I think people data mined it in on PC, and a lot of the cosmetics that have been sold in the store were actually slated to be in the battle pass, and there is a lot of armor pieces and stuff like that that still haven't even been kind of like introduced into the game that were originally in the battle pass. So it's like they took content out of the game before it launched, so they would have at least something fresh in the terms of uh cosmetics and in the store to keep that going with fresh content. So that makes it worse within the Halo community for the people, the diehard like Halo players out there that that talk to each other, they look into this stuff, all that good stuff. It made it that much worse because it made it look like they were holding back content strictly to make money on it in the store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that other people out there that don't necessarily know about all that stuff is like, well, why are you complaining? And it's like, well, there were things along the way that's like, yo, hold up, 343, what the hell are you doing with this? Like, if this is true, what's going on? And of course, they never commented on any of that either.
Yeah,
Right,
of course not.
right.
So I mean,
Now, I will say this too. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I actually think picking up Activision is going to help the Halo service tremendously because you have people who already are familiar with it. They know how it works. They got that, Warzone is absolutely huge. And I think that, now that you have these people on your team, they can help people at 343 understand how this situation is supposed to work because you're right. Everybody's has been right. Like, you can't come out and bring out a title with very little content. You just can't now these days. And people are ready for that shit to keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Like a game. I know it's not the same type of game, but you look at Lost Ark. That's why it's consistently having 200, 300, 400,000 players concurrently because you content so much. You got to be over. It's kind of you got to have a Game Pass thought process about how you do games as a service. You got to just overfill people with just content, 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 content. You can't sit here and play it off. You can't slow it down. Battlefield and Halo is now just kind of, I don't know. That service wise, it's a flux. The game itself, how Halo plays and it's free to play are fantastic.
Yes.
This is the reason why people are still playing it and is still having a good time with it. But I know that they got to get out of this ideology of like, well, if it's good for the esports players, then it's going to be good for the casual gamer.
Great
not.
point right there.
It is.
Great point.
People aren't studying maps like that. People want to go in and play and have a great time. We're not getting paid like these people are. We're not going through. We don't have the time in the day to go in to play these games the way that the esports people play. They gotta get out of that. That's one thing that hurts a lot of people from playing fighters, is because a lot of especially last gen, they catered to the esports community, and that's not what gamers want. Gamers just want to have a good time. They just want to play and put it in, play, and learn a couple of moves to where they can feel formidable and get the fuck on to the next one. That's how they feel. You can't have that esports mentality when it comes to these services. That's just ridiculous to me.
No, I got you. Yo, shout out to Others Inc. Others Inc., it is good to see you in here, brother. I know about product planning, all right? But when you already have stuff in the battle pass that people would pay for, and then you take it out and it starts showing up in the store that people have to pay for again, and when people find that out, that is not a good look, bro. That's not a good look whatsoever. And then in the state of the game as it is, again, the game is absolutely incredible. I will not tell anybody to not play this game, but the amount of maps that are in it right now are not enough. And if they are only bringing 2 new maps, which is one big team battle map and one arena map in the next season, that's not going to be enough, bro. All right,
No, it's not.
you're
No.
not, you don't have Forge in there yet to have like, people that are recreating like the classic Halo maps or recreating, the Halo 5, Halo 4 maps, because now they can recreate Halo 5 maps as well
Now,
when Forge comes out.
remember,
That's going to be
Forge
great.
helped out Halo 5 a lot.
Yes, it did.
So
to the point where they're
if
using
gamers,
those Forge maps to this day in
yes,
Arena.
yes, that's and that's the thing. Like, I mean, Fred was 100% right. Like, you had a year for this shit to cook. So why is it that you still need, like, that shit don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, no, I totally agree.
I got you. Anybody else want to chime in any more on this before we move to the last topic here, or are we good to go?
Good to go.
Good to go. All
Good.
right, guys. This is something I'm excited about because Michael Pachter showed up on Dealer Gaming show RDX this past, I believe, Tuesday.
And you didn't read my super chat either, sucker.
Oh shoot! I forgot K Mega Super and K Mega. I couldn't. And the thing was, when I saw K Mega, I couldn't believe it, man. But let's shout out K Mega for hitting up the super chat.
I'm sounding like Sir X-Men now.
K Mega, thank you so much for your support, not only with the super chat, but again for being here on the panel for how many years, bro?
I quit. I fucking quit.
He's like, I quit. He says, I gave State of Play an 8.5. I believe he was talking to Fahim on that one. You were talking to Fahim, right?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. I'm excited to get into this one because Michael Pachter showed up on RDX and basically started talking about the current situation within the gaming industry. Xbox Series XS, PlayStation, PS5, and he said something that pissed a lot of people off, man. And I gotta say this for context. I usually, Michael Pachter talks, I don't listen anymore. I dealt with him the entire last generation being wrong. The entire last generation talking so much shit and being wrong that I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. I'm not even paying attention to him. But again, he was on a podcast within our community. It's all over social media. I ended up hearing what he had to say. And basically, he stated that he believes within 10 years, PlayStation is pretty much gonna be done as a platform. He said that and I'm kind of like quoting loosely here that they are not able to compete with Xbox and what Xbox is doing with Game Pass. Basically, we know that Spartacus is kind of like right around the corner. Pachter says that Xbox has way too far of a lead when it comes to the subscription service uh, for PlayStation to even compete with that. Now, there's certain things I can see here. When it comes down to it, when it comes to the subscription service, I hear him on the lead because there's already over 25 million people on Game Pass. Not only that, with Xbox starting early when it came to the whole Game Pass subscription and such, they had a chance to look at their first party studios, and now you look at how their first party studios have absolutely blown up to the point where they can be self sufficient when it comes to a service like Game Pass. They can have their first party pumping out games every single year. And I believe Xbox's goal is 4 to 5 major IP every single year going into Game Pass for the Game Pass subscriber. And of course that means coming out for Xbox as well. If you're not a subscriber, you can buy the games digital, physical, or whatnot. But and then within that, you also have teams within these studios making those smaller AA games, kind of like arcadey games, and really being self sufficient. And so with Pachter saying that Xbox is so far ahead. I can see that. And the funny thing is, I feel that PlayStation, when they decided to revamp their PlayStation Now and go Spartacus, they decided that they were going to compete with Game Pass. And I feel that right there sealed their fate in the long run because Xbox has such a lead. They have studios under their belt, a lot more studios under their belt. You look at what they're doing in terms of pending an acquisition with Activision and having Call of Duty in Game Pass day and date when and if that whole thing finalizes would be absolutely huge for Game Pass as well. So I can see where Michael Pachter is coming from in terms of they cannot compete with Game Pass. What's cloudy in my mind is that PlayStation will be dead in 10 years. Like I don't think it'll be 10 years. There is a mind share out there. Um eh, I can't see the whole 10-year thing. But let's get to the panel. I'm gonna start with Crispy on this one. Crispy, you heard what I said. Did you hear what Pachter said on RDX Tuesday? Crispy? Crispy, are you
Did
there?
he drop?
I think it got him.
I got him.
I think it got him.
Hold on, let me check.
I thought I heard someone drop out a while ago. Maybe it was K Mega when he left and came back.
Oh shoot. I'm gonna check the messages and such. So
Oh yeah, he gone. Yeah. He was toasted. So I mean, yeah, no, he was.
You
Yeah,
said he was
he had to lay that down. He had to lay that down, boy. I mean, he sounded like I sounded like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, no, he was.
All right.
Let that boy rest that off.
All right. Well, let's go to Predator on this one then, man. Did you hear what Pachter said on RDX?
I did not hear what he said, but I can probably talk to what you kind of paraphrased.
Hopefully, I did a decent job because that's pretty much what he said.
I didn't hear everything word for word of what he said, but like you paraphrased pretty well. So like, I'll start with the whole Sony being out of the game in 10 years. I seriously don't see that happening. Not Sony's stubborn, so they'll fight and claw their way, kind of like how Nintendo did when they were having their issues with after the release of their other console, one no one ever bought. But the Wii U, they kind of went through this phase where they just there, like they weren't releasing any games. They survived, but with Sony, I mean, they're competing still, so they're still buying studios, they're still doing X, Y, Z. I think what happened with Microsoft, how Microsoft kind of got to them is they bought everything, and they had the money to buy everything, and so they just kind of outmuscled them a little bit, like we're gonna buy up all this shit and you can't use it, so and there's more shit out there for them to buy, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's two more main publishers out there, EA and Ubisoft, and they're kind of in pockets with them. Like, I mean, you can get like some of the Japanese studios and stuff involved in that too, but those studios aren't nearly as big as Ubisoft and maybe Sega. Would you can get that one, but essentially Microsoft just bought everything, and so Sony can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way for them to get to that point where they start buying it. They don't have the money for it. So eventually they'll just put them out of, if they go out of business, it'll be because of that, because they're trying to compete with Game Pass. And I think their problem is going to be content, releasing content on a regular basis, the way like Microsoft is going to do. Microsoft is potentially poised to release a new game every quarter, if you think about it.
Yeah,
and
so
then
that says 4 quarters. That's 4 games.
Yeah. So like, I mean, and it may be more. I mean, if they wanted to, they could probably go more than that. I mean, depending on how things, like, they might have to hold stuff back just to kind of like not oversaturate the market and space things out a little bit. But like, even with the studios that Sony's purchased, they can't do that.
No,
they can't pimp out Naughty Dog and Move, dog, sit down. They can't pimp out their studios like that. They're gonna overwork them. That template, that over the shoulder third person template is gonna get old too. You can't keep doing that. Like I I don't see them going out of the business. I mean, if anything, they'll just produce games. They might get out of the console business, if anything, but they'll still be relevant as far as this gaming studio. I mean, that's their bread and butter right now. I mean, like making games in the Sony division. Like
That's what
I
makes
don't
Sony
understand.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand they got the movies and stuff like that too, but like their gaming is what they're more known for nowadays. Like so um, I don't know. I could see it happening, but not the way he's thinking. Like completely out of the business. No, they'll still
No.
make money making video games, but um, I don't know. We'll see if you ever see them. I mean, here's what could happen. They could just get bought out by somebody like Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like it might get to that point. Or Apple, because those companies are trying to get to the gaming space too. And if they can get Sony under their belt, they've got a console now. They can produce games. They can build studios and buy up stuff like Microsoft's doing. They have the backing, they have the money.
They got
So
renowned developers under
yeah, that could
PlayStation.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean, like I think they'd more likely get bought out by somebody before they just fucking close shop and stop doing shit. I mean, think about it. Say Apple gets them. They get a console. They got a streaming service. They got phones. They got um, they can put cameras under them now. I mean, a merger like that would make more sense to me than them just closing up shop and just going the way of the dodo. Um, so I kind of agree with him, but I kind of disagree with him too. I'm kind of indifferent. Like the way he pitched it didn't sound. The way you said he pitched it didn't sound like it was like kosher to me. Like I just don't see Sony ever getting out of the gaming business like that. They'll have some kind of something going on at all times. Just like I said, it's their bread and butter, so they make money. So, what else did he say? You remember? Outside of that part, because I know.
Well, yeah, basically from the quotation, when he was talking about like Sony competing with Game Pass, and it's like Xbox
They're behind.
is too far ahead. They're too far ahead
Yeah.
that they can't compete with them in that space.
And I think I can agree with that in a sense because, like I said, Sony's not going to buy Ubisoft. They're
They
not
don't
going to
have that
buy.
Microsoft money, man. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
they don't have the money to get them. Like if they had gotten somebody like Activision or even WB, if they'd have started doing that stuff and trying to, purchase studios the way Microsoft was doing it, competing with them on that level, tick for tack, then they'd either go broke, it's like they don't have the money, or they that they would show that they're competing with Microsoft at some point, So, but I think like we were talking earlier about the way they release games and stuff like that, like their market strategy isn't like as you talk about trying to make money, their marketing strategy now is to release games when nothing else is out and they have to show to themselves to maximize their profits on the console space. And then they do this thing where they make a remaster or a and the PC is like that's their cash cow that they're holding on to because they know if they release anything on PC, it's going to sell like hotcakes. So they'll slowly release things on PC. When shit hits the fan, they'll just be like, "Oh, God of War is coming on PC," or we'll pick a game. Like this came out, Ratchet and Clank is coming on PC, like something like that, and that will just generate so much revenue for them because the game's already made. They're hiring all these studios to make ports and stuff like that. So like,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, like, so that's their plan. Like, release it on PlayStation, wait several months, release it on PC, and we can maximize stuff that way. Because if they did it day and date, people just pick and choose one or the other if they have both. If I had a PlayStation and a PlayStation 5 and they came out with God of War, I'm getting on the PlayStation 5. You know, but if they came out with God of War on PC on day and date, I'd get it on my PC. They'd only get money from me one time.
It's a
You
great
know,
point.
and
It's
I
a
think
great
that
point.
I think most of the PlayStation 5 gamers and PC gamers, if they have both, they're probably going to cater to one or the other. They're not going to get it on both systems. You know, so maybe they wait a little bit. Maybe, like I said, the PC gamers, they're not going to go out and get a PlayStation 5. They can't fucking find one. So they'll just wait it out and they'll get it later. But they're maximizing their revenue off of their games by doing it that way instead of doing it day and day like Microsoft's doing. So plus we have Game Pass, so we ain't got to worry about that shit. Most of
Yeah.
the shit's free for us now anyway. Well, including our subscription service. So, but I don't see them closing up shop anytime soon. Like in 10 years, there have to be like a serious like shift in the force. You know what I'm saying, for that to happen.
Yeah,
I just don't see it.
something really major would have to happen. In business, 10 years is not necessarily a long time. Like shit can go bad because of disaster quickly, but to talk about like a decline, like 10 years is not long. And you know another thing, Pred, in terms of you know, Spartacus kind of like competing with Game Pass, you know, PlayStation competing with Xbox in that subscription service kind of like arena. Um PlayStation doesn't really have any multiplayer focused studios under their belt, like their first party. It would have to come from deals and acquisitions and stuff like that to really get the multiplayer focus. Because when you're talking streaming service, you know the God of Wars, the Uncharted's, the Last of Us. That's all well and good, and everybody talks about the single player aspects to all these. That's why I'm saying this. But
Yeah, that's just
you need those multiplayer focused games, and they do have. I know they got to deal with one or two, you know, studios outside of their first party that's developing, you know, PlayStation kind of like multiplayer games, but you don't have them in house where you
you're getting all the
control.
profits from it.
Yeah, you control everything within that. Like that's another thing. They are really far behind Xbox when it comes to that service, and to compete in that arena.
Well, think about this. All right, let's say we spend $60 on the game, right? And that $60, after you buy the DLC, you buy the map packs, multiplayer map. This is on the Xbox side. You buy a couple of, a couple of DLCs, maybe some skins, stuff like that. That $60 game has made them triple
Yeah,
by the time it's all said and done. Off of one person versus a game like Horizon or God of War. I say God, like you said, God of War. It's a single player game. I'm gonna spend 60, $70 in a game one time, and that's all the money they're gonna get from me. They're not gonna get anything extra from me because there's nothing else coming out with the game. There's no DLC to buy. I'm not gonna spend $15 on a fucking upgraded. I don't know if we hit this topic yet either. Upgraded, PlayStation 5 version, with HDR and 4K assets and stuff and texturing. They're trying to charge for that now. Like I'm not buying that. So they're not gonna get that money from me. I'm just gonna play the game, be done with it. And some people will, but for the most part, we get that shit for free on the Xbox side, and they're gonna get more money from me because they have DLC with the multiplayer games they have. So they're gonna get probably at least double the price of the game off of me because I'm gonna buy extra shit that includes the game that comes added to the game later, whether it's free or not. I'm gonna pay for something else, like whether it's $10, $5, or $20. And I can't see myself doing that for a single player game that I've beaten. Because it's got a nice new coat of paint on it. I'm not spending another $10 for that. I'm done. I beat the game. I'm done. So that's just me as a gamer. But I know some people they'll go back and replay the game because it looks prettier, and I'm not. No, I'm good.
I got you, bro. Yo, shout out to the chat. I'm glad you guys like this topic. But for the people out there saying that Sony and Spartacus is not like meant to compete with Game Pass, why do you think they are restructuring this whole thing? Why do you think they are putting PS Plus in with PS Now, even if it's a tier system? the way Ultimate Game Pass is doing. Well, why do you think they're talking about, you know, having their classic games in this service as well? Like this is all meant to compete. It is all meant to have a service similar to, because they now see the future and how popular the streaming service is when it comes to Game Pass. Of course, there are going to be fanboys out there. They're going to be extremists that try to point that Game Pass isn't popular. But when you have over 25 million gamers subscribed to Game Pass, that's popular, people. I don't care if it's been out 5 years or whatnot. Like when Xbox first came out with Game Pass, they didn't expect the Switch to turn on and them to go from, oh, this is the first day we're dropping it, to a week later we got 12 million people and everything's going crazy. If you notice, they started the library small and started building it up at that point in time, and they were getting their contracts settled with third party. They were acquiring first party studios. They were building it up. All right, and now you see what their plan was and what it's going to be moving forward. And it's over 25 million people are subscribed to Game Pass right now, and they're putting that money in on a monthly basis. I think Sony looked over there. It's like, oh, okay, nah, this shit's real. We already have a streaming service that we just blatantly ignored for years. We need to retool this. It is to compete with other services in that space, and Game Pass is a service in that space. They're trying to compete with Game Pass. That's it's simple. It's common sense, yo. K Mega,
Yeah.
what do you think about this whole Pachter thing? Again, the whole 10-year situation. And you know, Sony competing with Game Pass, like going into the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, listen. I all right.
He said,
I'm trying to all right, I'm trying to kill this fucking big ass bird.
dude, are you playing Elden Ring while
Yes.
see
All
that
right. Yes.
might be
All right.
might be against the law right there, because you need your
All right.
concentration.
I just killed it. All right, so I'm good. All right. That motherfucker was on my tail, boy. I was over here like, Lord. Okay, so here we go. All right. I got to make this point because I said this a while back. And so I remember I said I made this point about, and I showed this graph, I know I showed the graph on GRG, but I talked about this graph, right? Talking about the gaming history of when consoles first hit the market, right? And it was the Magnavox. There's going to be a lot of people that don't even remember that the Magnavox was the very first console to come out. There could have been a prototype or something like that came out in the 70s, but Magnavox was the premier console at that time in the 70s before the Atari took over. Fast forward from that point on to then you get to this point. After so long, a console that's had the dominance will lose it. And if you remember me bringing this up, it was last year. And I was saying, look, Sony's run is about up because they're now following trends instead of setting them. And now, since people are much more aware of what Sony has done, now people in the industry knows how to counteract them, and especially when they have more capital. See, the one problem with Nintendo is Nintendo has been in their lane, they stay in their lane, but they still dominate they dominate now in Japan. I think Nintendo was cool with that, especially with where they're at. They're not trying to get into the space of having the most powerful console. They did that. It didn't happen well. They were like, okay, let's pump the brakes. Sega never had the capital to face Sony because Sony was pretty much its superior when it came to financials. Xbox is that one that Sony knows is dangerous. But Xbox has always, or I should say Microsoft has always had, dab the toe in. They when you looked at that documentary, it was really cool because you see the passion from the DirectX crew, and then they got Bill Gates in and all that other, but still, regardless, there's always been kind of like a toe in or maybe 1 foot. Sony knew that if there was 2 feet in or knees deep in, if Microsoft got into the gaming industry like that, it would be a problem for them. Microsoft is knee deep in. Hell, if you want to go and say it, they're waist deep now.
Mm-hmm.
The time for the supreme superiority of what PlayStation has been at for the last 30 years is about to be over. I'm still saying that. There is no. I'm looking at this trend. It is happening right before our eyes. And you say, Mega, come on, what are you talking about? Like, man, look at how they have talked to their fan base and then reverted to change it up right before their eyes, and not even within a year. Some things is like, okay, we don't care. Some things were a couple of years down the line. We don't care about older games. We don't care about this, and we don't do this, and we don't do that. And then all of a sudden, okay, here we got this package. Okay, streaming is not the everything. Every person, if you look at every CEO from Yoshida to Sean Layton, anytime that they said something that wasn't on the same wavelength of what Xbox is doing, they were let go. Think about that. Think about that. And when everybody keeps on trying to keep forgetting, it's like that turnover between when the Xbox One generation was horrible. Xbox was almost out of there. Sony knew that, and Sony was like, we got to kill this. We got to kill these bastards now. But what happens when you come up and you put a position, you put something out there, right? And you know that you're about to be put in a corner, let's say like a bunny rabbit or something, right? Like people are like, oh, little cute bunny. You put that little bastard in a corner. What will happen? It will tear your ass up. You'll see that it has teeth that will sever fingers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened is when Xbox is saying, I'm saying they're a cute bunny rabbit, but they have been, kumbaya, blah, blah, blah. Where is the behemoth, right? Well, once they figured out that Sony was trying to get them out of there, then the behemoth was like, okay, all right. Enough of the bullshit. We don't want you to go away, Sony, but we're going to let you know your time is up. So now Sony is like, I got to do something. We got to make this work. I know we talked about the service, but man, the people that listen, they don't care. The casuals out, the casual market out there, they don't care. We got to do something to make this money because the console sales aspect is just not working. It's just not. And especially you looking at this, the income and all this, and then the chip shortage and everything, all this bad luck right now that's happening within Sony is predicated to bad decision making beforehand. So look, I look at Jim Ryan as a person that's listening to somebody that's higher up, but I don't, what I'm saying? But Jim Ryan's moves has been smart, even though I don't agree with some of them, especially the $70 smart delivery, things of that nature. But they're still making profit. So when people come out and they talk, oh, look at the money that they made, and then you say, oh, Xbox in third place. Oh shit, look how much money Xbox is making. And it was beforehand when Xbox was in third place in the deep third, they were still making revenue. They were still making profit. Now, and they were down like 3, 4, 5 to 1. Xbox is right on their ass, if not in some cases, beating PlayStation on consoles sold. Think about that. So when Michael Pachter was talking about, he was bringing back something that I remember on game trailers because I used to watch the Pack Attack all the time, right? And he brought up something. Other thing, no, bro, you're wrong. There were certain people that were all in about Xbox. Not all of Microsoft was all in about. You need to go watch that again. Because there was people that was like, man, why would you want to care about getting into console market? PlayStation, the
Xbox One generation, with how that took off, like how it launched and everything like that, there was discussion about spinning off the Xbox brand. There definitely was. They were talking about that. Yeah, you got to watch that documentary again. Like they were about to be out of there. Like Bonnie Ross sit there and told you
that they were thinking about selling Halo to Gearbox. They were just about to pull the whole foot out and say, we're done with this console shit. So no. But anyway, back to my point. Pack Attack said something. Pachter said this, right? And he was a generation behind. And he didn't kind of know how the format was working. But this was what was crazy, because he was onto something. He was like, well, if the Xbox One goes and works with a cable provider and say, look, if you want to join our service, we'll give you a free Xbox One, that would alleviate the money that they would have to pay instead of paying the $500. They could do something, because he was hearing about services then, if you remember. And remember that at that point, people were talking about when the whole thing where the industry was talking about with services, they were thinking like the mobile market, not like what Xbox, the Netflix type, because they just weren't, they weren't there. They were onto something. Pac was onto something, but he just didn't know. Now you come and you look at this, he wasn't too far off. So Sony itself is really in a position to, yes, be more bought out than they go away. But if I think after this, which this is going to be a long generation, they might have one more console generation, and that's it. They're going to be Apple will have them, Amazon will get them, maybe a big tech company that's in Japan somewhere, whatever the case may be. But Sony is not going to keep making consoles, especially when these consoles are going to have to cost more. Just wait until this VR thing comes, because they committed to VR. Some people say that that's a beautiful thing. Other people think that that's a disaster. But people aren't going to just keep paying $500-$600 for new peripherals. They're just not. Look what happened with the Xbox One when they tried to add the Kinect, one of the best-selling peripherals ever, and they tried to throw that on the customers. And the customer said, hell no, the crowd replied, no, we're not paying for extra. I'll just go ahead and buy your competitor. Xbox knows exactly how to make this work. And like you said, Bot, they went ahead and they're so far ahead into this game, Sony will make problems. Because I mean, if the pricing is right, I mean, not the pricing, but if the situation of what their older games and all that model works, I'll go ahead and get that service, get one of their services. But where the problem is going to lie is that their competitor is going to give out these 4 games a quarter, and they're free with Game Pass. Well, they're not free, but they're included with the service. Sony, on the other hand, is going to be greedy because they want that bread. We'll give you that EA access treatment. We'll let you play 5 hours, but you still got to give us $70. Customers ain't going to sit there and keep up to that. There will be some, but it won't be a lot. So again, that's to me is where it's going to be the downfall. If Sony doesn't want to play ball and treat their customers a certain way, it's going to keep affecting them in another way, because I can't believe Sony didn't think that not having a smaller version of, not a smaller version, but a cheaper version, not $100 cheaper, but kind of like a PlayStation Slim version of the PS5 to come out to compete, because that's what really killed the Xbox One. That's what really dominated it. Now Xbox has got the Series S. In about 3 years, how much you think that little bastard's going to cost going forward? So again, I do agree with Michael Pachter that PlayStation's days of being this big, being the most dominant, heavy out there, it's about to be a wrap. And my last point on this, right? Everybody knows who the darling was during the 360 era. The PlayStation community left the PlayStation 3 like it was a redheaded stepchild. They're like, no, we getting this PlayStation 4 quick. And if you think about it, and the one thing that the PlayStation stand will try to hold it, well, it outsold the 360. If it wasn't for the red ring of death, it would have been a lopsided defeat. Sony would have been dead third. If it wasn't for the red ring of death, because just think about that for a minute. how many billions did they worth? And then you think about games like the Halo RPG and all these other visions that they had to change. They had to take their money and help and do what's right for the gamers to fix the red ring of death. So that's that right there. If the Series X is the step up to the 360, there's no stopping this console. And the people at Xbox should know that, because that was Xbox high point, and Sony's high point was the PlayStation 2. And I don't see the PlayStation 2 era stepping into this one. They had it last gen, not with the PlayStation 5, in my opinion.
I got you, bro. I got you. Yo,
Right.
shout out to Cork in the chat. He said, he now let me quote and then kind of like answer this real quick. He said, for some reason, weirdos hate a gaming platform to the point they want it to die. I want to let you know right now. Nobody on this panel wants PlayStation to die. Nobody on this panel wants Xbox to die. But that does not mean that we cannot share what we see in the future as well. Like, I don't think any of us are saying that in 10 years PlayStation is going to be dead. But the gaming industry is evolving. It's changing. Microsoft saw that way back, and they started a small service that they built up called Game Pass. Now, if you look at how that has blown up, if you look at the younger people that are now getting to the point where they are the quote unquote wallets, the consumers, the main consumers in the industry. Now they're spending their money. These are people that grew up with their mom giving them their cell phone to play games on it when they were little and stuff like that, and they grew up with the whole small screen thing. Xbox has a service for them that lets them play their games that they play at home on their console, even on their phone, their smaller devices and stuff like that. Xbox is catering to the consumer that is coming up and taking over the industry, that's taking over being the ones that spend the most money per year and stuff like that. Like you can't ignore stuff like that just to be like, I'm not going to be the one to say that this platform is going to die because nobody should want it to be dead. Like that.
I don't want PlayStation to die or go away. I just think that the reign of what they've had is about to be over. I mean, King David agrees with this outlook. That right there. Like, I mean, it's the truth.
When you said it's about to be over, I think the crazy thing here with that is Xbox and Microsoft, they're planning to basically drown them out. Right. When they're talking 4 or 5 big IP per year, and they have over 30 studios to do this, 4 or 5 big IP per year, like anytime people are talking anything within the video game industry, their name is going to be in that, if not headlining it, because every time you turn around, they're going to be dropping another game like that. A big game. Like they're going to drown all that out, which not too many companies can do that.
Right. All Xbox needs, and Fred, tell me if you think I'm wrong on this. All Xbox needs, they don't need, all they need is 3 at max, 4 of those over-the-shoulder single-player games. Then have their, got their core set of their shooters, and then you got your wide variety of RPGs. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the only thing that's missing right now is a Japanese developed studio, or a Japanese studio, or something to work with a Japanese studio like Sega, something like that, to make an exclusive, a couple of exclusive Japanese games, and you solid. That's all Xbox needs. PlayStation is now going to have to play catch up with that's why they're going balls to the wall with these services. They're throwing 10 at the gamers, because they're hoping that one sticks, because that's all you really need is one. If you get 2, or you get 3, you're really solid. You're golden, because you make so much revenue. But that just shows you how saturated the market is for service games, because there's so many games like that. Halo, Gears, Forza, they're already solidified. People will buy them just because of their namesake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Xbox needs those games, those single player games, and they only need about 3 or 4 max. They don't need any more. And if Fable, Hellblade 2, Perfect Dark, and something else that comes from some of these studios lands, that's it. They're good.
Avowed.
The variety is there.
Avowed.
Yeah. Well, Avowed is a Western RPG. Like, so I'm thinking of like the over the shoulder Rise ish, God of War ish
Action
type
adventure.
of games, action adventure type of games. If Fable and let's not even put Hellblade. If Fable and Perfect Dark hits, that, I mean, really, they only need the 2, but I say 4 just to solidify, like, there's going to be people that's not going to like Perfect Dark for whatever reason. They're not going to like Fable for whatever reason, things like that. So if you got 4, then you constantly got a great rotation where people are going to constantly go to those games when they come out, when they make new games. That's why Horizon Forbidden West, people will always go buy that. People will always go buy God of War. People will always go buy whatever else that place Uncharted. You see what I'm saying? So, or The Last of Us 2. They got 4. They got more than 4, but that's Ghost of Tsushima. So that's where Xbox has to be. So if they can make a Rise or something like, or bring back a Quantum Break or something like that, think that they'll be in a good space. And then when you're looking and comparing titles, then you're like, okay, Xbox has finally got these single player experiences. Okay, PlayStation already been solidified there, but what these multiplayer games is looking like. And then they asking me for 70, Xbox is still asking me for 60. And on top of that, I'm not getting, I'm not going and playing these games through for a trial. That shit's already ready to be downloaded because I'm subscribed to Game Pass. That is the difference. That's what all Xbox needs right now. It's just these type of single player games and that. So I'm not going to repeat myself again, but I think that's and I think that's going to happen. I think that they're going to start rolling. It's going to be really crazy here going in the next 5 years.
And then not only that, one thing that like I've been hearing when it comes to Perfect Dark, not only that single player aspect, but I hear that they're developing a multiplayer kind of like espionage games as a service aspect to Perfect Dark as well. So you get your kind of like single player story, for people who are fans of Perfect Dark, but then you get that replay value when it comes to like creating your own kind of like spy character, going in online and stuff like that, and continuing that for that replay value. And that's the one thing, when it comes to what I feel an Xbox game is, a complete Xbox game. I've stated this a long time. And K Mega, you've been with me over here for a long time, so I've always stated it's the single player game, it's the co-op multiplayer, and then it's that multiplayer aspect, that competitive multiplayer that keeps you playing that game over time. And one of the good things about Xbox is, as you can see from their titles moving forward, they haven't left that blueprint. That is at the heart of it. That is a core kind of like a complete Xbox game. Even down to the point where they're putting in co-op for Halo and stuff like that. They're making sure that they have that complete Xbox game experience for those titles. When it comes down to it, so put that together with the service, and Xbox is going to be knocking on all cylinders. It started this previous year, and unfortunately, with the delay of Stalker 2, which I feel was a big blow in terms of the momentum moving forward. That first delay, I stated it on here. I said it on Crossfire. I was like, that's a big blow to them, because that was a game that they were counting on to continue that momentum going from the holidays and moving forward into this year. But that doesn't mean that they're going to completely change up their game plan.
If Starfield is anything of what people have talked about, which I'm still on the fence of because I haven't seen or heard anything about it other than just, oh my God, it's amazing. If Starfield is anything close to what that is, and then they'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll be fine. I want to address something that was said about it said who was it? I think it was what's called it moved on. Let me see.
Was
Let
it
me
like-
see.
Is it
Yeah, it was
Sony
Fahim.
isn't trying to be what
Yeah,
not?
with Sony, yeah, Sony's not trying to be what it's not. That is not true. Because if they were trying to just be who they were or who they have been, they wouldn't have bought Bungie.
Bungie. Yeah.
They wouldn't have got purchased Nexus to put their games on PC. They wouldn't be going and trying to add games. Have a service and then put old games on that service. You know, they have really reverted from something that they haven't been, and it's apparent. So I don't know if that's a troll comment, but it's clear. Like when you say we're going with games as a service and we're making 10 of them this generation, that is not Sony. Sony is
10
about
of them by 2026. Like
like that is saying, look, man, we know where the toast is, what the toast is going to be buttered with. So
Yeah.
I mean, look, so listen, this is where the money is. This is what we want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it might be too late because Sony is going to want to try to make money off of it instead of taking a hit, and that's where Xbox is taking a hit. It's gradually going to keep coming, and if they keep doing the stuff that they're doing, like I've never seen Xbox brag about, oh look, we got the most we showed the Metacritic the most awards in 2021. Like that was a flex.
They got the highest Metacritic score average for
that's a
year.
flex. Like Sony, so okay, so you better and then like you look at Sony's titles, which this was supposed to be Sony's God tier year. God of War is the only thing left for them to because Ghostwire Tokyo, I think is going to get rated pretty good, but it's still going to be kind of tainted because of the fact that that's now an Xbox owned game. And so I don't know, man. It's God of War is there it's got to make it happen. And just think about this: Elden Ring just swallowed. Well, pause, I guess. Pause. Just dominated Forbidden West, right? Like nobody is talking about Forbidden West that much anymore, and that's unfortunate because the game looks just absolutely beautiful, right? But Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be a Game of the Year nominee. You know that, and if Starfield is good, and then that there's going to be an indie and something else that's going to be that's going to kind of fill in. If God of War is not at the same rate, Metacritic wise as its predecessor, and it's in them 80s, whoo, Lord,
I doubt that. I don't see God of War.
I don't see it either. I don't see. No, I'm saying like 88. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even see. I think that'll be a 90 plus game.
Yeah, if it's not though, like everybody,
if it's not,
then you don't. Then you have the chance of your top 2 bangers or top 3, because you got Gran Turismo that dropped this year, to not make that grand love because y'all love the Metacritic so much to be a Game of the Year nominee. How crushing is that? And Xbox is going to really have a quote unquote down year, because next year it's about to go down next year.
Dude,
so,
with like you said, this year is supposed to be the banger year for PlayStation, and what they have maybe Spider-Man next year. We don't know because again, when it comes to Sony's reputation,
they said 2023. So
there's a delay, kind of like cloud over them at points in time, but.
If we don't see anything from God of War within the next,
God of War is coming out. That's why they made more PS4s.
Bro, I don't know. If we don't see anything, God of War has got to come by September, because they're not gonna release God of War at the end of the year. They're not.
Well, they want to make sure they make that the VGA window. You know what I'm saying? They want to make sure. But then again,
right? So September has got to be their deadline.
Flexible with that window for
Hey, Bot, I gotta hop off and take a call.
Oh
All right,
yeah.
brother.
So
Yeah,
we're
we're
going.
gonna be
Yeah, we're
winding
going
down
longer.
anyway.
This is a great conversation, though. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll see everybody next week.
all right, man.
All right,
All
bro.
right, later.
Peace, Fred. So yeah,
But yeah, nah,
I can't wait to talk about this tomorrow night because I'm definitely because this was one of the topics that I was going to be talking about as well. So I don't look at this as a situation where something like Sony is going to go away or nothing, but it's clear it is there's a thin line here, and you look at the sales, you look at all these things that the PlayStation stand has been coveting. It's all fallen before. I mean, like it's right there. You just look at it. That's why you don't see them talking about the sales numbers and shit no more. They don't care. They can't. Xbox is winning in some categories.
Even to a certain extent, Gran Turismo just came out and like it came out and people were talking, and all of a sudden, like on social media, it has quieted down so much when it came to Gran Turismo, and that is very interesting. I'm hoping I'm hoping Motorsport comes out this year. I believe internally it's planned to come out this year, but with all the innovations that they have already kind of like talked about when it comes to that game, and you saw what they did visually with Motorsport 7. People can talk whatever they want when it comes to Motorsport 7. I didn't necessarily like the layout of the single player that much. I know you killed it. You killed every single race in the single player for Motorsport. But one thing that I don't think anybody can deny is Motorsport 7 looked gorgeous, man. And they basically rebuilt their engine to bring in kind of like different simulation aspects into the racing game in terms of the humidity affecting your aero and stuff like that when you're racing around these tracks. Dude, that's my most anticipated game, even though it hasn't been announced yet for this year. That's what I'm looking forward to, man.
That's definitely for me too. I'm anticipating that game. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, no, I don't see that happening. That it won't come out this year unless it's just whatever. Unless Xbox is saying like, look, we're gonna, because Stalker is unfortunately still in limbo because it's getting worse out there in Ukraine. We don't know what's happening. If the developers are out there fighting, because those people out there, they like, hell no, we out this life. So we don't know what's going to happen with that game, but that's the thing. Like normally that would be a almost death sentence blow for Xbox in the past, but people know it's like, oh shit, well Starfield's coming out, and then we don't. It's like I told you. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Xbox is going to make that up in one way of bringing a big title to Game Pass. You know what I'm saying?
I think they started with Guardians. I think Guardians was like when the first delay happened. I think that's when they started talking about getting Guardians of the Galaxy, which you can see that gameplay right now. Mega, you got to play this game, bro. You got to play this game.
No, I just got so much other stuff to be playing, man. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm still, like I said, I'm 147. I put a lot of time. I'm over 100 and some hours in the Elden Ring. Like I'm probably about almost 110, 100.
Dude, I'm
between 110 and 120.
I'm afraid to stream Elden Ring right off the bat, but
don't worry about it. You're supposed to get your ass handed to you, but once you get to certain spots, it's rewarding once you get it. I mean, there's still bosses that's going to wreck you.
I'm hoping people that know the game will help guide me in the right direction. Like, you can take on that.
I will say that community is not like the Destiny community. They definitely help people. They definitely help people. So shout out to the people that's helped me out so far, Bloody and Black Spartan, Addict, you know what I'm saying, Lord Addict, you know what I'm saying? Thank you guys. Kid Smooth, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Really do appreciate the advice and things to go out there and to do. So nice. I really appreciate it, man. So yeah.
Nice.
There's a super chat. You got another super chat.
Oh, what is up, Lord Maxie? Hooking up with the super chat. Thank you so much for the support, brother. I really, really do appreciate it. And you notice I know you noticed the order of these names, Mega, but he says,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's up, K Mega and Xbot448?
That's
Great
right.
show, guys." Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shout out to you,
Good
brother.
night.
Yo, there's a Portal player sighting, man. I don't think we saw him last week.
Uh-huh.
When it comes down to it, he's in the chat as well. Yo, shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Yo, Mega. You know, when it comes down to it, just like in an Xbox Live party, we could sit here and talk about this like all night.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, no doubt.
I think it's time to wind it down. I do got to work tomorrow.
Sure.
I don't know. You probably got more Elden Ring on your schedule.
Well, I'm gonna
tonight
take a
tomorrow.
break, watch my news. You know what I'm saying? Go slap my wife's ass and before she goes to bed, and then come back in here and then get back to some late night gaming. But I do need to prep up for GRG. But this game has got me so racked up. We won't do it until tomorrow. But yeah, I got you.
Nice. Well, brother, you said you got a show tomorrow. We already had a sneak peek of one of the topics. What's going on tomorrow with GRG, and of course, anything else you want to throw out there, man? Now's the time, bro.
Yeah, no, man, appreciate it. The GRG podcast will be live tomorrow nights, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. GMT time, and then in Australian time it is like 11 a.m. I think so.
Your list of times gets longer. Like you get like a different region every week, and you're like,
well, I do appreciate people coming and checking out the podcast, man. I mean, the kind of new format that we've been doing seems to be doing well. Other than me getting hit with not a copyright strike, but a claim not so long ago, last week. But that's all good. You know what I'm saying? I just really do appreciate people coming and checking out the content that we drop, man. It's great. But check us out. Fight Night Sunday. Big shout out to the raid that I got on Twitch last Sunday, man. That was amazing. We'll be doing that. Me, Yobi, Game Down Sites. We was playing some King of the Fighters 15. Yeah, so definitely come and check us out. I will be hitting up somebody probably this weekend to see whenever they want to link up to do a fight night one-on-one. So the fighter of their choice. And then I'll be streaming some Elden Ring and then another game from Konami. I cannot pronounce it, but I'll show it to you. It's kind of like a roguelike game. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'll be doing that Saturday.
Brother,
you
got to play Guardians, man. I'm letting you
Saturday,
know right now, dude.
Night.
You will love Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll let you know.
I will get to it. But this Elden Ring is calling, and I got to stream this title, this one roguelike title. So
I got you. Yo, shout out to RG Viper. Yo, in the chat, what is up, brother? He asked me, when are we going to raid in Destiny 2? And I want to let you know, bro. I want to let you know. I have been tracking your Guardian and your power level. How are you asking me when we are going to go when you were underpowered even as far as yesterday, I believe, man. I've been watching you, bro, from a distance. I've been waiting to see.
Look at that stuck up Destiny ass players, man. Your power level was no good.
No, bro. When it comes to the raid, like you need to be able to handle yourself. You have to be up to power to handle yourself. Anything else, Nightfalls, like stuff like that, it's all good. But like Grandmaster Nightfalls, the hardest difficulty Nightfalls and raids, you gotta be able to hang like solo if you have to, because everybody's doing all sorts of different things to accomplish what we got to accomplish. It's crazy. This new raid, I passed it once, Mega. I passed it yesterday. I was actually up until like 4 a.m. And we passed the raid, bro. All I got was armor. I got none of the raid weapons on my first run, including the extra chests in the. I got all armor, but my guardian's pimping right now, bro. He is definitely pimping. He looks good with that armor. I'm saying, but I wish I got a weapon or two. But yo, Viper, we're good, man. And the thing is, I'm actually getting set up. I'm learning the raid to the point where I'll be able to teach people as well. because that's what the clan I'm in now. Mega, not the people I was dealing with before, but the clan I'm in now with my son and everything. Like it's about teaching people.
You guys changed clan like y'all changed draws.
I'm in my son's. I've been in my son's clan for a while now. Like that's what it's about though. But so yeah, I'm setting up to be able to teach the raid to other people. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah. Other than that, guys, you are on my channel. This is Xbot448. If you haven't done it yet, feel free to subscribe. I have my kind of like slower work week coming after the weekend, so you'll be getting a few.
What the fuck was that?
You'll be getting a few videos from me as well as the next podcast, which is here every Thursday, 8 p.m. I got to shout out my homie Predator, who had to leave early. He had to take a phone call. Yeah, you heard that a little in my voice, right? You heard that. But also Crispy, who said he lost power in his house, man.
Damn.
I told him,
I think everything just went dark for him because he was lit.
That's what he meant by going dark.
Yeah.
Yo, my house went dark. Yeah, we know.
Lit.
We know, Chris.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We was lit.
Yeah. But it is
boy
always
started talking about problems and everything. That shit was funny, but that's my boy.
Yeah, Crispy's good people, yeah. But yeah, guys, we come here again every Thursday, 8 p.m. Feel free to come in, tune in next week. I am working on guests. I do have a list of guests. I'm just trying to,
I said I was working on guests like last week. I told Don I was going to be working for some guests too to. So we could get it on Devin the Gamer as well, and I haven't done jack shit.
Oh, you're taking guests on Devin the Gamer.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. GRGN on Devin the Gamer, man, and I just have not asked anybody. So it's like, okay, so it's probably just going to be the three of us. Maybe Sir X-Man will come in and leave and help us out. A lot of people like to, I guess, are enjoying his old man banter, so I don't know. But,
I love how he'll go into left field real quick about something like and it's always about like an old game as well. What were you talking about, like microtransactions in Halo, and all of a sudden like he'll bring up like Super R-Type on the Super Nintendo or something.
Talk about Ridge Racer on Ridge Racer R-Type, on a PlayStation 1. Yes.
Yo, and that's why he's our homie. Yo, shout out to Sir X-Man, my golfing buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the show for tonight. Thank you so much for the support. You will see us. What happened?
You better get out of here because the Naked HD
online strips without clothing.
Gotta go. Time out. Put you on time out. Y'all gotta get out of here.
Have a great night. Have a great night, everybody. We are out.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.